Chapter 1814. 1 Second to Remember. Love Divided by You? Reads BookWeb. Updated quickly, no pop-up window, free to read. Except for Emoji and Yuan Yen, no one else knew who this black tail that suddenly appeared was. He Yen waved his tail and stared at those people. Whoever dared to approach, he would also slap them away. Black dragon? The short fat man and the Dong family were stunned when they saw He Yen. They could actually see the legendary black dragon. This is not a dream. Humph, you lowly people dare to touch my contractor. How dare you? He Yen shouted coldly, scaring those people so much that they didn't dare to make a sound. Humph, it's just a black dragon, what's so great about it? In front of the dynasty's army, it's just a beast. The short fat man was angry. Sima Yue was also frightened by the black dragon, and said while raising his orchid fingers, "Just an underworld beast?" He Yen stared at the short fat man, and his 10 feet long body rose from the ground, staring at him condescendingly. A dragon's roar shook everyone's eardrums, and the wind blew the short fat man and the Dong family back dozens of meters. "Ong!" he roared, and with a swing of his tail he smashed a Dong family member into a meat patty. Roar! The mount under the short fat man was a little afraid when it saw He Yen at first, but in the face of He Yen's attack, it actually began to resist. She didn't know what race the beast was. Although its legs were trembling, it could actually resist He Yen's attack. "My mount is a black Pishio, it doesn't lose to you," the short fat man said proudly. Sima Yue narrowed her eyes slightly. This person actually had a black Pishio, indicating that his status in the dynasty was not low. However, even so, he couldn't bully the people of the Duke Mansion. "Morongshi, you'd better come with us obediently. In this way, we cannot implicate the people of the Duke Mansion in the matter of you instigating the underworld Een Wolf to kill the Dong sisters." The short fat man looked at Sima Yue lecherously, seeing her hot body. His little brother couldn't control himself. "With your little Pishio?" Sima Yue looked contemptuously at the beast that was as ugly as its owner. "Although you have a black dragon, my Pishio is a mature beast. Although your black dragon is higher in grade, after all, it is still a baby that hasn't grown up." "Ha ha ha." The short fat man laughed, feeling arrogant. "By the way, if you touch me, the dynasty's army will destroy your Duke Mansion tomorrow. So you'd better be obedient and don't resist." Sima Yue turned her head and glanced at Emoji without a trace. Seeing him nodding at her, she turned back and smiled at the short fatty. The short fat man's saliva, which he had been holding back for a long time, finally flowed out. "Disgusting." Ting Shan frowned in disgust and stepped forward to stand in front of Sima Yue, blocking his wretched gaze. You. "Don't worry, I'll bring you along. I will take good care of you," the short fat man said with a smile. "Fat man, put away your disgusting eyes, or I will dig them out for you." Ting Shui also rushed to the front and said, "Another beautiful girl. TSK Morongshi, not only are you good-looking, but the maids around you are also so beautiful. It's really a bargain for men." The short fat man looked at the 3 beautiful people, and felt that his eyes couldn't take it anymore. Sima Yue pulled the 2 irritable people behind her and said, "Why are you so calculative with a person who is about to die?" "Miss." Ting Shan and Ting Shui looked at Sima Yue touched. She was using her body to protect them. This kind of miss was much better than before. Sima Yue saw the look in their eyes and the corners of her mouth twitched. She was too embarrassed to say that she was doing this in order to attack the short fat man. "Sir Envoy, you said that you would hand Sima Yue over to us." Dong Qilian's mother heard him say this and cried out. If the short fat man wanted to protect Sima Yue's life, then could she still kill her? "Are you questioning my decision?" The short fat man looked at Dong Qilian's mother, and his voice became cold. It was obvious that he was angry. He was only patient with beauties. As for others, he was not in such a good mood. Sir Envoy, how could that be? We will listen to you." Dong Qilian's father pulled his wife and smiled at the short fat man. This envoy has never liked people questioning my words. This time, I will let it go for concubine Dong's face. Don't do it again. Do you understand?" The short fat man reprimanded. "Yes, we understand." Dong Qilian's father pulled her mother to the back. Her mother was still a little unwilling, but she was appeased by her father's words. With Sir Envoy's temper, if you bring Morongshi over, her fate will not be better than being killed directly. That's right. I heard that this Sir Envoy has a heavy taste. The women he fancied were tortured miserably. If Morongshi is caught, it is still unknown what will happen to her. Thinking of this, her mood became better. Sir Envoy, this Morongshi is also the daughter of the Duke. If you want to take her away, the Duke will not agree. If he comes back and knows about this, I am afraid that he will make a fuss in the Duke's mansion. Yuan Yen was a little afraid of this short fat man, but he still spoke out. Young Master Yuan, it's better for you not to intervene in this matter. The short fat man looked at Yuan Yen and threatened. Otherwise, if the Yuan family loses a young master, wouldn't it benefit others for nothing? The Yuan family would not offend a Sir Envoy for him. Yuan Yen. What is this Sir Envoy? Sima Yue asked. Miss, the Sir Envoy is a person around Wang Ye, and can exercise some of Wang Ye's rights. His status is higher than that of the Duke. Ting Shan dispelled her doubts. Sima Yue showed a shocked expression on her face and asked, such a person can also be the Sir Envoy? Isn't this position particularly easy to be in? Why don't we give it a try and see if we can get the position of Sir Envoy? Generally, only Wang Ye's relatives can be the Sir Envoy, Ting Shan said. In fact, the power of this position is not particularly great, but the reason why the Sir Envoy can have such a high status is because of their relationship with Wang Ye. No wonder a person like him can have a mythological beast like Pai Xiu as a mount. Sima Yue nodded and said, however, daring to have ideas about me, this is still intolerable. That ugly appearance really makes me unable to bear it for a minute. Sure, I'm going to slap him into meat paste, He Yin said. Don't worry. Sima Yue stopped him. Let's deal with that guy who is as ugly as its owner first. The existence of Pai Xiu will cause trouble for Xiaohe. Although Xiaohe may not necessarily lose if they really fight, it is wise to take a shortcut. She squatted down, touched Xiaohe's head, and asked, Xiaohe, can you deal with it? Chapter 1815. Remember in 1 second, Love Divided by You? Read Book Web. Updated quickly, no pop-up window, free to read. Everyone looked at her, thinking that she was scared silly by the short fatty. A dog? You asked if it could deal with the mythological beast Pai Xiu? Either there was something wrong with their ears, or there was something wrong with her brain. Sima Yue ignored the various eyes and continued to stroke Little Black. Woof woof woof. Little Black barked at her twice, and then before everyone could react, a black shadow flashed by, followed by the sharp cry of the Pai Xiu and the scream of the short fatty being thrown to the ground. Roar! The Pai Xiu ran around in the crowd, trampling several Dong family guards to death, and even Dong Qilian's mother was almost trampled to death. Blood sprayed from its neck and sprinkled all over the street. Lord Envoy. Dong Qilian's father was stunned when he saw the short fatty fall to the ground. He hurriedly ran over to help him up and pulled him to the side of the street, avoiding the huge body of the Pai Xiu. If the short fatty was not pulled away, he would have been trampled into meat paste. Roar, roar! The blood in its body was rapidly draining, and its vitality was also rapidly draining. It forgot that it could speak, and just roared like a beast. Boom! When its vitality was exhausted, it fell heavily on the street. The earth trembled. Bower! The short fatty saw his mount fall lifelessly and screamed heartbreakingly. Sima Yue felt goosebumps rise when she heard this name. Does this person have to be so disgusting? Not to mention that he kept raising his orchid fingers, he also gave such an ugly beast such a name. I'm going to kill you. The short fatty was heartbroken. He broke away from the people around him and flew towards Sima Yue. Sure, be careful. In a hurry, Yuan Yen forgot his identity, forgot the interests of his family, and stood in front of Sima Yue, ready to block this blow for her. Pa! The long black tail swayed in front of everyone, and they saw the short fatty being slapped to the ground, smashing a pit. Pa! Black lava swung its tail again and smashed the short fatty into a meat patty. Humph, I said I'll turn you into a meat patty, so I'll turn you into a meat patty. You want to steal my she? See if I can't kill you. As it spoke, it didn't stop slapping its tail. The short fatty was beaten to death by it. Lord Envoy. Morongshi, you actually killed Lord Envoy. Dong Qilian's father took a long time to regain his senses as he pointed at Sima Yue and shouted. Yuan Yan was also frightened, looking at the corpse of the short fat man on the ground. He couldn't recover for a long time. Not only him, but the guards of the Dong family and the commandery prince's mansion were also confused. Only Emoji looked at the corpse without feeling anything. Wasn't it just the death of an envoy? What was the big deal? It was said that Dija went to see Wang Ye before leaving the Great Yu dynasty. They must have had a secret conversation. An envoy was not worth a single hair of Sima Yue. Sima Yue saw them so frightened she shrugged and said, "Isn't it just an envoy? How dare he have ideas about me? How can my beasts let him go? In this world, not everyone can afford to provoke him. Not everyone can afford to provoke him. Just wait for the revenge from the prince's mansion." The Dong family saw that things had exceeded their expectations, and today, they didn't care about Sima Yue's life, and hurriedly fled back with the Dong family. When everyone had dispersed, the guards of the commandery prince's mansion regained their senses. They looked at Sima Yue with horror and admiration, but also some worry. "Miss, what about this person's body?" Sima Yue glanced at the pile of flesh and blood. If it wasn't for the human-shaped pit when it hit the ground at the beginning, she wouldn't have been able to tell that it was a person. She subconsciously wanted to burn the corpse with a flame, but found that she couldn't do it now. She withdrew her hand awkwardly and said to the captain of the guards, "Just burn it. By the way, clean up the blood on the street." "Yes, Mississippi." She turned around and saw the empty gate. "Also, change it to a sturdy gate. It's shameful that the gate of the commandery prince's mansion is always destroyed." Yes. Every time, the gate of the commandery prince's mansion was hurt the most. As the gatekeepers, they also felt very uncomfortable. Also, send someone to inform father about this matter, and let him be mentally prepared. If Wang Ye really blames us, it will be easy to deal with. You don't have to care about the rumors in the city, but send someone out to pay attention to the movements in the prince's mansion. By the way, investigate the background of this short fat man. If he can have a Pichio as a contract beast, his identity should not be bad. It should be easier to investigate. Yes, Mississippi. The guards took the order and went down, and soon the commandery prince's mansion returned to its former order. Yuan Yan and Emoji watched her methodically instruct things. Where did it look like she had just experienced a major event? "You killed an envoy anyway. Do you have to be so calm?" Yuan Yan sighed. Sima Yue glanced at him and said to the two, "I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you for today's matter. But as you can see, the commandery prince's mansion still has a lot of things to do, so I won't entertain you. I'll visit you later to thank you." "Actually, you don't have to send someone to investigate him. We all know about him," Yuan Yan said. Sima Yue thought for a while and said, "Then come in with me." Ting Shan and Ting Shui followed them in and served them tea and water while they were chatting. These two people were willing to step forward at this time, indicating that they were still good people. Emoji glanced at the tea they served and didn't bang. Sima Yue asked Ting Shui to put away the tea and personally made a pot of tea for the two of them. "It takes time to make tea. Let's talk about that short fat man." Yuan Yan was attracted by her action of making tea, and he didn't recover until she spoke. "Oh, that envoy, he is the princess's younger brother, Wang Ye's brother-in-law. It is said that the princess loves this little brother the most. If you kill him now, I'm afraid that the princess will not let you go." Yuan Yan looked at her with some worry. The princess has a strong personality, and Wang Ye sometimes has to give in. Does the princess have a son? Yes, the eldest prince and the seventh prince were both born by her. Then it seems a little tricky. She estimated the tricky level of this matter in her heart, and found that it was not a little tricky, but quite tricky. If it's an ordinary person, I may be able to let the family come forward to mediate, but the relationship between the princess and the Yuan family is not very good. I'm afraid it will be difficult for me to persuade the family to come forward. Yuan Yan said. "It doesn't matter, I'm very grateful for your kindness," Sima Yue said. "I'm actually fine, but I'm afraid that I will implicate my father. Otherwise I will be alone. Where can't I go?" Emoji watched the two of them talking back and forth. He didn't expect him to be here at all. At this time, another guard came in from the outside, and his hurried steps showed that something important had happened. Chapter 1816. Remember in 1 second, Love Divided by You? Reads BookNet. Update quickly, no pop-up window, free to read. Sima Yue looked at the guard who ran over and said, "What's the matter?" "Miss, someone sent this." The guard took out a box and handed it to Sima Yue. "For me?" Sima Yue took the box and remembered that the unknown box she received last time was the spirit-gathering stone given by Emoji, so she glanced at him subconsciously. "Yes, he said that he wants Miss to open this personally." The guard said. "He said that you will know what is inside when you open it." Sima Yue's doubts increased sharply. Did she know such a person? The box in her hand seemed to have become a little hot. Emoji saw her doubts and said, "Open it and you will know what it is." Sima Yue nodded, took a deep breath, and then opened the box. The box looked very ordinary from the outside, the size of a palm, but after opening it, she felt that there was another universe inside. Pocket Universe Box. Emoji saw the origin of this box at a glance, and then frowned. "What's inside?" Yuan Yin asked. Sima Yue glanced at the box, shook her head, and turned the box to the opposite side. "Empty?" Yuan Yin looked at Emoji, who also had a puzzled look. "Why would someone send you an empty box?" Emoji took the box and looked at it carefully. He did not find anything in it, and returned it to Sima Yue. When Sima Yue took the box, she suddenly saw the flower on the lid of the box, and her whole person was stunned. This pattern. Yuan Yin and Emoji saw her like this, and looked at the pattern on the lid of the box again. "What's wrong with this pattern? Have you seen it before?" Sima Yue touched the pattern on the box, which was a coquettish flower. Unlike the devil's snare flower that Emoji liked, this flower gave people a more charming feeling. Looking at the flower, a picture appeared in my mind, as if I was standing in a sea of flowers like this. It seems that I have seen this flower before," she said, "but I'm sure I haven't seen this flower before. Do you know what flower this is? Are you sure the picture you think of is in this flower bush?" Emoji asked. "I'm sure," Sima Yue said. "Do you know what this is?" "This is the legendary hell flower," Emoji said. "That's why I said it's a flower pattern, but I've never seen a real flower." "Hell flower? Isn't it a devil's snare flower?" "Devil's snare flower is a flower. As for this flower, it was said that it could only be found in the depths of hell. But this is just a legend, no one has really seen it," Emoji said. "In that case, how did Chia meet him?" Yuan Yin asked. Sima Yue didn't understand either. She rubbed her forehead and said, "Before I woke up, I felt like I was in a daze for a period of time. I didn't know where I was or what I was doing. Let me show you." Emoji looked at Sima Yue. Sima Yue hesitated for a while, and stretched out her left hand. Emoji grabbed her hand, and let his spiritual awareness slowly penetrate her body, and into her spiritual awareness. After a while he withdrew and said, "It's not that you're confused, but that you have a memory that's been sealed." "Sealed?" Sima Yue looked at Emoji in surprise. "Are you sure?" "Yes." Emoji nodded. "But the seal is not strong, so you can occasionally remember some fragments. This may be related to the hell flower. Could it be that I've seen that flower, and then someone sealed that memory?" Sima Yue said. "If that's the case, why did he give me this box to remind me of something?" "This. I guess only you know." Sima Yue sighed. "If I knew, would I still ask? What does it mean to send this over at this time?" "I remember seeing something about the hell flower before," Yuan Yin said. "I remember that I seemed to have it with me." With that, he took out a pile of books, at least hundreds of them. "I remember which book it is in here. We can look for it." Yuan Yin looked at the two. "Look for it in so many books?" Sima Yue's mouth twitched. "You can think about it carefully. What book did you see it in?" Emoji looked at the pile of books, took one out of the middle, and threw it in front of Yuan Yin. "It seems to be this one." Yuan Yin opened the book, found the page, and handed it to Sima Yue. Sima Yue looked at the front first and found that this was a book recording this legend. The page that Yuan Yen gave her had very few words, and it was accompanied by a hell flower. Legend has it that this kind of flower blooms in the depths of hell, and it is the representative of the underworld god. No one has ever seen a real flower, but it really exists. The underworld god is not a legend, he really exists. There is no detailed description at all in such a short book. Sima Yue returned the book to Yuan Yen after reading it. If it's according to the book, then didn't I see the underworld god? By the way, is there such an existence as the underworld god in the ghost realm? The underworld god statement is too exaggerated, but I think there is a person or race behind this that we don't know. Emoji said. Don't you Emo clan know? Yuan Yen asked. Emoji shook his head, he had only seen it in this book. Could it be the one in Jiuyu Mountain? Sima Yue asked. Jiuyu God clan? No, it's not them. Their appearances are accompanied by black lotus, not hellflower. Emoji said. If I really want to say it, the black lotus represents the heaven of the ghost realm, and the hellflower represents hell. Isn't it a legend? The Jiuyu clan exists. Does it mean that this hellflower also really exists? Sima Yue asked. I might have thought it was a legend before, but now? Emoji raised his eyebrows, and his eyes fell on the pocket universe box. The meaning was self-evident. The Jiuyu clan is also a legend. How can you be sure that he exists? Yuan Yen asked. How can you be sure? Of course, it's because she is one of them. The Jiuyu clan does exist, but they have appeared less in recent years, so they are known less. Emoji said. Alas, at this time, it really feels weird to send me such an inexplicable box. Sima Yue looked at the box over and over for a while, but she couldn't find anything, so she closed the box and put it on the table. Emoji saw that she was puzzled and pouted. Why don't you think about it again? Since the other party said that you will understand when you see the box, maybe there is really some deep meaning. Chapter 1817. Remember in 1 second. Love divided by you? Reads Book Web. Update quickly, no pop-up window, read for free. Sima Yue picked up the Pocket Universe box and looked at it for a while, but she still didn't see anything, and finally had to give up. Thinking about it, there is only the picture of me standing in the hellflower bush. Forget it, I will know when it's time to know. She really couldn't think of anything else, so she was too lazy to think about it and put the box away. You are really open-minded. Yuan Yen said when he saw her stop like this. The other party just sent this thing, indicating that there is no malice for the time being. Just like someone back then. Sima Yue said. Someone? Yuan Yen looked at her doubtfully. A friend of mine also sent a box over at the beginning, which scared my uncle Butler. Sima Yue said. Maybe this is the same. Emoji smiled and the two looked at each other. Only each other understood the look in their eyes. Yuan Yen looked at the interaction between the two, his eyes flashed slightly, he lowered his head to drink tea. Thinking of the previous matter, he looked up at Emoji and said, By the way, Emoji, can you handle the matter of the envoy? Ha! With the deterrent power of the Emo clan, how can the princess give you face? If you take action, they should not dare to resist. Yuan Yen said. You finally remembered me. Emoji chuckled. I saw that you were so brave just now. I thought you had thought about everything. It's not like you don't know my situation. Yuan Yen sighed. He tightened his grip on the teacup, and this time when he goes back, he must take the position of the young master of the family. Definitely. Since you said so, I can only say that there will be no problem for the time being. However, I can't guarantee the situation later. Emoji said. I see. Sima Yue understood what he meant. He said that he would suppress this matter for the time being, but he would not completely solve this matter for her. If he meets the people of the Wangfu in the future, or goes to the Wangfu, he will not guarantee what will happen. Moreover, doing this is also for her own good. Leaving an unsolved enemy can give her more motivation to move forward. Her strength is still low now, and when her strength grows, she can naturally solve these problems by herself. Then let's set off tomorrow. Yuan Yen said. The earlier we go, the earlier we can solve this matter. Otherwise, once they get the news, They might send someone over. Is 10 years enough? Sima Yue did not react at first, but she soon understood that he was giving her 10 years to grow up. Enough. She didn't think it was necessary, but she didn't want to be too sure. Then we'll see you then. Emoji said. I believe it shouldn't take long. You want to stay in the prince's mansion? No, but when you go to the palace I should be there. All right. See you then. Sima Yue guessed that they would be paying attention to her situation. When she went to the prince's mansion, he would know the news. Emoji and Yuanyan didn't have much nostalgia when they left. Yuanyan's matter here had been solved. He needed to go back and report, and take Emoji to deal with the affairs of the Wangfu. So after the two went back, they packed up and left with their people. Sima Yue sent them away. The efficiency of the guards of the Junwang mansion was still very high, and the door that was blown away was hit again. She just didn't know how long this door could last. She returned to her courtyard, and Ting Shan and Ting Shui immediately greeted her. The two knelt in front of her with a bang and kowtowed heavily. Miss! Sima Yue was startled by the two of them. She looked at them and asked, Are you too stimulated by today's incident? Are you scared silly? Miss. Ting Shan and Ting Shui's lives were saved by Mississippi. In the future, if Miss wants us to climb a mountain of swords or go into a sea of fire, we will definitely not frown. Ting Shui said with a smile. You don't have to be so exaggerated, right? How can I save you? Sima Yue went up to help the two of them. Okay, get up quickly, otherwise others will think that I did something to you too. Ting Shan and Ting Shui got up with her strength. Today's incident, if it weren't for Miss, we would have been taken away by that short fat man. If that's the case, we will definitely not obey. Didn't you save our lives? Well, it's not bad if you think so. In that case, guard the door well today. Sima Yue laughed. Remember that when I'm in seclusion, no one can come in. Do you understand? We know. What if Master comes back? Since it's Father, it's another matter. Alas, I think Father will probably rush back when he hears the news. I don't know if the matter at the mineral vein has been solved. Sima Yue sighed, feeling that she seemed to have caused a lot of trouble for Murong Hui. If Father comes back, tell me. If someone is looking for trouble, tell me. In addition, send someone to pay attention to the Dong family's situation. Yes, Mississippi. Sima Yue entered her room, but did not start training. Instead, she took out the pocket universe box and looked at it. But no matter how she looked and thought, there was only that picture in her mind. Yu, did I get into trouble? Hei Yin raised its head from her hand and looked at her with self-reproach. It was not as domineering as before. It's okay. Sima Yue poked its head with her index finger. You are very domineering when you protect me. I like it. Really? Hei Yin was happy, its little tail wagging. Really? Go play with Little Black, I'm going to cultivate. Sima Yue looked at Little Black who was playing alone in the corner and said. Okay. Hei Yin went down from her body and wrapped around Little Black. The two of them almost merged into one. Little Black only called twice symbolically for Hei Yan's arrival, and then went to play with its toys. Sima Yue smiled, and went to the bed to prepare to cultivate. However, after she entered a meditative state, she did not cultivate like before. A sea of red flowers appeared in her mind. You can actually come here. A voice sounded behind her. She turned around and saw a faint figure. Who are you? Sima Yue asked. The figure approached her and sniffed her body, saying, Chaos Chi. You have been to the Chaos World before. No wonder you can come here. Chaos World? Sima Yue remembered that when she was in school, she went to a place and was brought out by Mo Sha. She never went to that place again, and did not come in contact with it. She did not expect that after so long, it would still affect her. Looking at the figure in front of her, she asked again, Who are you? Where is this place? The figure walked around her and said faintly, Welcome to the underworld. I am the king of the underworld, Hades. Chapter 1818. In 1 second, she remembered, Love divided by you? Read book web quick update, no pop-up window, free to read. Welcome to the underworld. I am the king of the underworld. Hades. The scene paused here, and then she woke up. Doubt flashed through her clear eyes. The underworld, the king of the underworld. Does it really exist? Why do I have memories of this? Wasn't the first place I appeared in after arriving at the ghost realm the cliff? If all of this was true, then it meant that before she left that place, her memories were sealed by the other party. Since he had already done so, why did he use things to stimulate her memories? How about we make a bet? A voice sounded in her mind. The voice was very soft, as if it came from the distant past. And it was fleeting, she didn't catch anything. How could this be? She murmured, the doubts in her heart did not diminish. Miss. Not good. Ting Shui shouted as she ran in from outside the courtyard. Sima Yue rubbed her eyebrows, got out of bed and walked out. What's wrong? What happened? Why are you panicking? Ting Shui patted her chest and said with a frightened face, the Dong family has been destroyed. What? Ting Shan shouted from the side. How could the Dong family be destroyed? Sima Yue was also very surprised. This matter had only happened for half a day. The Duke's manor didn't send anyone to deal with the Dong family. How could it be destroyed? Do you know who did it? She asked. I don't know. After today's matter, many people were looking at the Dong family, but no one saw the person who did it. Ting Shui was shocked when she heard the news. No one saw the person who did it? How is that possible? Ting Shan didn't believe it. With such a big movement, how could they not see the murderer? It's true. Everyone is saying that they only saw a black shadow surrounding someone. And after the black shadow dispersed, only a pool of blood was left. Ting Shui widened her eyes, as if she had seen it with her own eyes. When Sima Yue heard this, she subconsciously glanced at Little Black. Why was this so similar to the scene when she first saw it? However, this fellow had been here with him all this time, so it shouldn't be the one who did it. Besides, this guy was still sealed, so it couldn't use its spiritual power at all. The last 2 times it killed people, it relied on its speed and teeth, so it shouldn't be him. Are there any other characteristics? Ting Shan asked. Oh, I heard from the people present that the black fog gave people a very frightening feeling, as if it was different from the aura of ordinary people. Ting Shui said. To be able to turn into black mist, he's definitely not from Ghost's realm. Could it be someone from the Soul Society? Ting Shan asked curiously. That's also possible. But wasn't it too much of a coincidence to destroy the Dong family at this time? It felt like he was taking revenge for what happened today. Everyone outside is saying that it was us who sent them out. Won't that bring us trouble? This was what they said at the beginning. Later, some people said that people with this kind of strength shouldn't be in the Duke's mansion. They guessed that someone else might be helping Mississippi. After all, Miss used to be a waste, but now she has the black dragon and the mutated dog. Maybe she had a fortuitous encounter. So everyone is very afraid of Miss now. Ting Shui repeated the words of those people, and looked at Sima Yue with admiration. Young Miss, is what they said true? Ah? Did you have a fortuitous encounter? Sima Yue pushed her head away and said, What fortuitous encounter? I made a contract with He Yin when I was in Moon Creek Valley. Ting Shan pulled Ting Shui and asked her to stop talking nonsense. At the same time she asked, Miss, how should we deal with the Dong family? What needs to be dealt with? We didn't do this, so don't worry about him. Sima Yue said, but you still have to pay more attention to the situation in the city. If there are any changes, report it. Yes. Go. Sima Yue waved her hand, and the 2 of them bowed and left. She stood alone in the courtyard, looking at the gray sky and muttered, Did you do it? Hades. The only answer she got was the sound of the wind. At the same time, somewhere outside the city, a cloud of black fog slowly condensed and formed into the appearance of a man. The man waved his hand and the space was torn apart by him, but he didn't go in. King, the Dong family has been dealt with. The things have also been sent to her. The man said. Does she remember? A clear voice came from that space. She should have remembered some things. But she still hasn't broken the seal and hasn't remembered everything. The man replied. Huan, who do you think will win this bet? King, you made a bet with Yue. If she can break the seal and remember us in 10 years, You won't interfere with her life and won't let her stay in the underworld. I think she will remember. Juan said. You think this king will lose? I just know that her desire to stay in the ghost realm is very strong. Even if she temporarily forgets us, she still wants to win subconsciously. Otherwise, she wouldn't have remembered something just by seeing the pocket Cosmos box. Juan said his thoughts. And King, you don't plan to win against her, do you? You little brat, who told you to guess my thoughts? Hades was not angry, and then sighed. No one has been to the ghost realm for a long time, and it's not easy to find someone who suits my taste. Juan lowered his head. He could understand Hades' feelings, and he could also see that he liked Sima Yue very much. It was not the love between men and women, but the kind of love that has existed in the darkness for a long time, and has encountered a glimmer of light. Because he had been in the darkness for too long, he was willing to spend effort to keep this warmth. King, the man she mentioned has also come to the ghost realm. Juan said. Should we pay attention to the situation over there? Her man. Hades's voice was very soft, and there was no anger in it. After a moment of silence, he told the people, since he is her man, he must have some ability. You go and test him, but don't kill him. Yes, King. Another voice came from inside. The ghost realm wants him to live, and no one else can take his life. Do you remember? Juan said to the people inside. Yes, Lord Underworld Envoy. The people inside took the order and left. Juan, you are too good to him. Hades was unhappy. Juan smiled. King, I'm just saying what you didn't say. If something happens to him, she will be sad. I spared his life because he was willing to give up his body and come to the ghost realm for her. Hades snorted coldly. Otherwise. Then do you want to tell her this news? Juan asked with a smile. Don't tell her before the two of them meet. Not only don't tell her, but also set up some obstacles for them. I'll leave this matter to you. Hades was like a child. I want to see if they are, as she said, destined. Chapter 18-19. Remember in 1 second. Love divided by you? Reads BookWeb. Updated quickly, no pop-up window, free to read. Sima Yue didn't know about the things outside the city, but she guessed that the Dong family's affairs should have something to do with the underworld. However, this was not a bad thing. At least for the time being, no one dared to trouble her again. Moronghui didn't have to worry about this matter for the time being. He could devote himself to the mineral veins and the city competition, and she could also cultivate quietly and strive to make herself strong enough as soon as possible. 2 days later, Moronghui returned and went directly to Sima Yue's courtyard. Ting Shan hurriedly called Sima Yue out. Sima Yue came out and saw his haggard figure. She said, Father, you're back. How's the mineral veins? Things over there have been settled. A-class equals __cf email _ref equals /cdncgi/l/email protection datic female equals 74A9FB34BFC1. Email protected. I've heard about the Dong family. You don't have to worry about it. I'll deal with the rest. He was not talking about the Dong family itself, but some forces and things involved. Father, the Dong family's affairs are almost settled. You don't have to worry. Have a good rest first. Sima Yue said. It's settled? Yes. The efficiency of the guards in the residence is very high. In addition to the extermination of the Dong clan, the other clans are a little afraid of us, so the matter was resolved quickly. Sima Yue said. If you don't believe me, you can call Guard Zhang over and ask him. Is it really okay? Moronghui didn't believe it. He wasn't sure that he could handle such a big matter in such a short time. But she had already dealt with it? It's really okay. Look at how tired you are. How can I let you worry about it? Sima Yue held his hand and led him out of the courtyard. She called the guard commander to the main hall and asked him to explain the current situation. Zhang Ming was now convinced by Sima Yue. When the incident first happened, they protected her for Moronghui. Later, she gave orders one by one, and soon took over the power of the Dong family. At the same time, she also moved the public opinion in the city. Now the people in the city were very obedient to the royal prince's manner. He told her everything that had happened in the past few days. His words were filled with admiration for Sima Yue. Seeing that there was really nothing wrong, Muronghui waved his hand to let Zhang Ming go down, and looked at Sima Yue with complicated eyes. If the princess knew that she had such a capable daughter, she would definitely be very happy, he praised. I think so too, Sima Yue said with a smile. However, we still haven't found the force that destroyed the Dong family. We still have to continue investigating this force that suddenly appeared. A class equals underscore underscore CF underscore email underscore underscore ref equals /CDNCGI /L /email protection. Datic female equals CF12408F047 email protected. However, according to what you said, the other party is just a cloud of black fog. No one has seen it again after the Dong family was destroyed. I'm afraid it won't be easy to investigate. Father, don't worry about this matter for the time being. Sima Yue stopped him. Do you know who did it? Muronghui asked. Although I'm not sure, I probably guessed it. Sima Yue said. The other party may not want us to investigate him. As long as there is no threat to us, don't pursue the matter anymore. Muronghui saw her hesitant look. Is the other party difficult to deal with? It's hard to say. I'm not completely sure. Since the other party deliberately concealed it, it means that they don't want us to know. Why should we get to the bottom of it? Maybe it will cause some trouble at that time. What you said is true. In that case, I won't care about this for the time being. Muronghui agreed to her request. Thank you, Father. Sima Yue knew that he still had doubts in his heart. An unknown force appeared in his place. Whether it was public or private, he should have a clear grasp of it. But because of her, he chose to give up. It's good that you're fine. A class equals underscore underscore CF underscore email underscore underscore ref equals /CDNCGI /L /email protection. Datic female equals 64B9EB24AFD1. Email protected. However, although I won't investigate this matter, I must pay attention to it. Well, I understand. Sima Yue nodded. After the Xiao family in this matter, I think we can be quiet for a while. In the next few days, I want to cultivate in seclusion and improve my strength as soon as possible. Good. It's good that you think so. There's nothing for you to worry about now. You just need to cultivate well. Muronghui agreed with her approach. After all, her identity was special. Although she had the identity of once she was discovered, the consequences could still be serious. If she cultivated in seclusion, then she would have less time to appear outside, and it would naturally be safer. Sima Yue then asked about the mineral veins. After the two chatted for a while, she went back. Before leaving, she repeatedly told him to have a good rest. After she left A class equals underscore underscore CF underscore email underscore underscore ref equals /CDNCGI /L /email protection. Datic female equals 568BD916990F5, email protected. Leaned back in his chair tiredly. Because he hadn't rested for a long time, he already had heavy dark circles under his eyes. Murong Lin came in from the outside and gave Mu the situation he had inquired about in the city. A class equals underscore underscore CF underscore email underscore underscore ref equals /CDNCGI /L /email protection. Datic female equals YF3260AF245 email protected. It was almost the same as what Zhang Ming said. Master, I didn't expect that she could deal with this matter so simply and neatly, maintaining the prestige of the Duke Manor in front of everyone, and at the same time dealing with the following matters very well. If I didn't know that she was less than 100 years old, I would have thought that this was done by someone who had lived for hundreds or even thousands of years. Murong Lin praised. The princess has given birth to a good daughter. Muronghui sighed. However, the more she knows, the more experience she has in the human world. She should have suffered a lot in the past. It's hard for this child. That's right. Murong Lin also sighed. Master, do you still want to investigate the Dong family's affairs? Not for the time being. Muronghui explained the meaning of Sima Yue. I think she may know who the other party is, but she doesn't want us to get involved, so she won't let us continue to investigate. But I heard that the person who destroyed the Dong family is very mysterious. If we don't find out who it is, will it hurt Miss? I think it's precisely because the other party is too mysterious, so she doesn't want us to investigate. Moronghui still had some understanding of Sima Yue. After the other party bullied her in the Dong family, they went to destroy the Dong family. I think the other party is protecting her. It can even be said that no one is allowed to let her be wronged. No. Is it them? Murong Lin felt that this was a bit unrealistic. General D and Lord Mo have both left, and Miss asked them not to follow her. It shouldn't be. Murong Hui had a headache thinking of this. Isn't it said that the other party is just a cloud of black fog? So I guess it may not be the people of Ghost Realm. This matter will be done according to what she said, but let people pay attention to the surrounding situation, and inform me immediately if there is any change. Yes, Master. Murong Lin responded and retreated. Sima Yue returned to her yard and felt that the atmosphere around her was a bit wrong. When she returned to the house, she saw Xiao He standing in the middle of the room, staring at the air somewhere with full attention. Chapter 1820. Sima Yue looked around. There was no one around and she could not sense anyone in the space. Little Black, is anyone here? She walked over and patted its head. Little Black relaxed the moment she touched it. It barked at her twice, and its aura was different from before. Do you sense someone? Sima Yue squatted down and rubbed the fur on its neck. Maybe there was a guest just now, but it's gone now. Go and play. Little Black barked at her and ran out by itself. She looked at the place where Little Black was staring at and narrowed her eyes slightly. Then she did nothing and closed the door. She set up a barrier and went to cultivate. Huan was invisible in the space. When he saw her enter the cultivation state, he condensed a chair and sat down. He crossed his legs and murmured, "You're still so sharp. But where did this little black dog come from? It clearly doesn't have any spiritual energy, but I can feel a majestic power from it. This power should be sealed, right?" After saying that, he paused. He wanted to reach out and poke the barrier protecting her, but he stopped when he was about to touch it. "If I poke you, you'll find me. Sai Yu, when will you remember us? I'm looking forward to your bet with the king." In the next few months, she had been cultivating in seclusion in the house. Except for occasionally going out to meet Murong Hui, she spent the rest of her time in her own yard. Most of the time, she practiced the soul refining art. The rest of the time, she read books to expand her knowledge of the ghost realm. Otherwise, she would practice alchemy and refining tools to prevent herself from being out of practice. During this period of time, the only reason she went out was to find a place to undergo the lightning tribulation. At this time, the people of Vast City were used to the lightning tribulations. Although there were still people who went to watch every time, they didn't see anyone going through the tribulation. Over time, various versions of the legend began to circulate. However, none of them involved Sima Yue. This kind of life continued until the second year of the city competition, when she finally appeared in front of everyone. However, that was only during the city competition. Once the competition was over, she would go into seclusion again, all the way until just before the region competition. In the past year or so, her strength had improved by leaps and bounds, and the strength of Vast Region had also greatly increased because of the discovery of the mineral vein. However, compared to the other prefectures, it was still lacking. The affairs of the Dong family and the Xiao family were still the topic of people's after-dinner conversations. The reputation of Murong Hui and Sima Yue spread out of Vast Region and spread to King City. However, it was only the annihilation of two families, so it didn't cause too much of a stir. Only a few people who were paying attention would think about it from time to time. "You said that Murong Hui brought Murong Shi with him?" Her alluring fingers were holding a black rose. She used a pair of scissors to cut off the branches, and then placed the flower into the vase. Her movements were so graceful, and she looked so noble. The flower in her hand didn't seem to be the flower that made her beautiful, but she added color to it. However, her tone of voice was not as gentle as her actions, and it carried a faint killing intent. "Yes, Your Highness. They have already left." The man kneeling on the ground lowered his head, not daring to look at her. "The Mo clan told me not to go to Liao City to find her trouble within 10 years. I didn't expect that in just 2 years, she would walk into the trap. In that case, how can I let such a good opportunity go to waste? The princess slashed down, as if she was not cutting a flower branch, but an enemy. At the same time, in another part of Great U City, a handsome man walked into a small garden. As soon as he entered, he saw Xiao Ruobai sitting by the pond in a daze. You are in a daze again. The man walked over and stood beside her, looking at the reflection of the two people in the water. Seventh Prince, you are here. What's the matter? Xiao Ruobai nodded faintly, greeting him. Since she was rescued to his house, he would come to her from time to time. At first, she ignored him and was indifferent to him. If he hadn't involved the Xiao family in the beginning, how would the Xiao family end up like this? However, Yuqi was not defeated by her attitude, but showed her all kinds of care. Later, after a long time, the two of them were able to say a few words. The region competition is about to begin. Yuqi said, the people of vast region have already set off for Great U City, and Murongxi is among them. Hearing the name Murongxi, Xiao Ruobai bit her lip, and the hand on her knee subconsciously clenched into a fist. She killed the envoy not long ago, and the princess still wants to find a chance to get rid of her. Why is she here at this time? Yuqi stared at her. You still care about her? The illusion array of Moon Creek Valley was personally arranged by her, and she even used poison in it. If there was no illusion array, the Xiao family would not have been destroyed so easily. Don't you hate her? I hate her. Xiao Ruobai did not hide her hatred. But I also know that the illusion array she arranged was not aimed at the Xiao family, but to find out the person who killed Moronghui. If Grandpa and the others hadn't done anything to Moronghui, such a thing wouldn't have happened. Speaking of which, she looked up at Yuqi. So I hate you even more. If it weren't for you, the Xiao family would still be the Xiao family from before, and my family would still be alive. Yuqi did not deny her words, nor did he argue for himself, because this was the truth. You hate me, I can only bear it. But what do you think about Murongxi coming to Great U City? He looked at her face, not letting go of a trace of her expression. Will you go to her for revenge? I don't know. Xiao Ruobai lowered her eyes. I am just an orphan with no support and no strength. What can I do to deal with her and Moronghui? You still have me, Yuqi said. As long as you ask, I can do anything for you. If I ask you to kill yourself, will you do it? Xiao Ruobai stared at him, her tone very serious. Do you want to? Yuqi also said very seriously. Xiao Ruobai lowered her head. What does it matter? Isn't the result the same? What other choice do I have? She was just a lonely person now. What qualifications did she have to think about revenge? Ruobai, I said, as long as you nod, you will be my princess. Yuqi looked at her helplessly. Don't you understand my intentions? I'm tired, I'm going back to rest. She didn't want to talk about these things anymore, so she got up and left him. Yuqi reached out to hold her hand, but it froze in the air. Looking at her determined back, he sighed deeply. Don't worry, I will avenge you, he said loudly to her back. I will. Xiao Ruobai paused but did not turn around. Actually, you just want to find an excuse to deal with Moronghui openly, because he doesn't want to be with you. Don't you think it's a bit despicable to use me as an excuse? Chapter 1821. Sima Yue, Moronghui, and the others sat on a group of flying beasts and hurried towards Diu City. Moronghui looked at Sima Yue and hesitated several times. Sima Yue was unable to focus on her book. She raised her head and asked, Father, what do you want to say? Are you really going to Diu City? Moronghui asked. Sima Yue put down her book. We've already discussed this before we set off. But the closer we get to Great U City, the more uneasy I feel. Moronghui said worriedly. I think you should go back to Vast City. Wang Fei sent someone to send a message before. Although she has an agreement with the Mo clan that she can't do anything to you in Liao City, if you leave Liao City, it will not be within the scope of the agreement. You know Wang Fei's background. Even Wang Yan may not be able to control her. I know. Father, you're worried that the princess consort will take revenge on me. But at the same time, I'm also worried about you. Sima Yue said. If you don't go, you will become the target of the princess' revenge. Father, I don't want anything to happen to you. Moronghui was a little moved. Before leaving, they also had a conversation, but Sima Yue didn't say that. Instead, she told him that she had the ability to protect herself. Father, I know that vast region is the place where you and foster mother met and fell in love with each other. That's why you don't want to leave and want to guard your place. But you also want to develop vast region. Vast region has a lot less resources than other regions. If we want to improve ourselves, the region competition is a very important opportunity, so we can't miss it. If Princess Consort targets you or takes her anger out on the team, you won't be able to compete properly. You child. Moronghui looked at her emotionally. However, I am still worried. Father, I think the Princess Consort is also secretly watching me. You don't have time to send me back now, so even if I go back now, I'm afraid I will only be hunted down. Sima Yue blinked. Are you sure we still want to continue discussing this topic? Muronghui's words were blocked by her. He shook his head and stopped persuading her to go back. In fact, she was right. There were people who had been paying attention to their situation. Once she left the team, she would immediately be killed by those people. Father, don't worry, Yuan Yin told me before leaving outside that Emoji will go to Great U City in 2 days. With him protecting me, you can focus on the competition, Sima Yue said. Besides, I'm not the same person who was bullied 2 years ago. Even if I reveal my strength, I'm not afraid of being targeted. Speaking of which, I don't even know how strong you are now. Moronghui looked at Sima Yue curiously. Although he could see that her aura was getting stronger, he couldn't see her specific strength. He didn't know what method he used to hide his strength. Well, you'll know when the time comes. Sima Yue did not intend to tell him about her strength. It was not because she did not trust him, but if she told him now, he would be frightened. This was too inconceivable for him. But the more mysterious she was, the more curious Moronghui was, and his heart was like being scratched by a cat. At this time, Murong Lin came in from the outside and looked at the two with a solemn expression. Master, miss, there is a situation. Sima Yue and Moronghui both stood up. What's the matter? We are surrounded, Murong Lin said. The princess can't help but make a move. Does she want to go against Wang Ye? Sima Yue said in surprise. If she makes a move now, the whole team will be involved. If anything happens to the contestants participating in the region competition, how will she explain it to Wang Ye? According to the rules of the dynasty, before the region competition, all contestants are protected. If anyone dares to make a move on the contestants, they will be punished by the dynasty. It seems that the princess's strength has improved greatly again, so that she can ignore the rules of the dynasty, Moronghui said. Or her hatred for me is not unsuppressible. As soon as she learned that I left Vast City, she couldn't wait to send assassins over. Sima Yue said. Give the order. Kill with all your strength. Don't think that we are really afraid of her. Even if today's matter is picked up in front of Wang Ye, it is still reasonable for us. Moronghui ordered. Yes, master. Murong Lin took the order and went out, telling the accompanying guards. Soon, the people who came to assassinate appeared, and those guards fought without saying a word. Sima Yue and Moronghui sat in the car, and also worried about the outside, so they simply opened the door and went out. They were in midair at this time, and the rooms on 2 flying beasts had been destroyed, which showed the fierceness of the battle. Sima Yue felt the weight of the guy on her wrist, touched its head, and asked, Do you want to play? Hei Yin flicked its tail. Go ahead. Be careful not to hurt the people outside. Anyway, those people already knew the existence of Hei Yin, so she didn't have to hide it. Hei Yin received the order, and happily flew down from her wrist, and returned to its original body in front of everyone's surprised eyes. The huge black dragon made the whole sky dark. She really does have a black dragon. The assassins were not surprised to see Hei Yin, but when they saw that their people were destroyed by Hei Yin's dragon breath, they were surprised by her strength. Isn't he a young dragon? How can there be such a strong dragon breath? Was the previous news fake? No. Our news can't be fake. Could it be it has grown so powerful in these 2 years? No, no. He Yin looked at the horrified people triumphantly and shouted. A group of ants also want to kill my contractor? What a whimsical idea. I will send you to hell now. It sprayed dragon breath several times at the assassins, and none of the people locked by it escaped. Then its huge body rolled up several people. And when it released, they were already incomplete. And the people caught by its claws were almost torn in half by it. The guards of the Duke Manor had already retreated to their side. Seeing that He Yin almost defeated the assassins alone, they were scared. This is too powerful. Miss is so powerful. It's not Miss, it's Mrs. Contract Beast. It's so powerful. Sima Yu had always known that it was a warmonger. However, its battle prowess and destructive power had frightened her. Your black dragon has entered the mature period? It's only been 2 years. Morong Hui was also shocked. No wonder Sima Yue didn't tell him about her strength. This black dragon's fighting power was too strong. If her contract beast was like this, then what about her? To what extent had she reached? Chapter 1822. Xiao Ruobai's breathing paused slightly, and then she brushed the hair around her ears as if nothing had happened, and said, I didn't have much contact with her before, but after contact, she is indeed a little different from the rumors. However, who can say that the previous rumors are true? Maybe this is a trap arranged by Morong Hui early in the morning to let his daughter pretend to be a waste, and then let people know at the right time. Yu Qi curled his lips. This is indeed a good way to protect her. However, I still think another possibility is more likely. What possibility? She is not Morong Shi. If you think so, then think so. You didn't think so? Xiao Ruobai shrugged. I never thought so. I don't think Morong Hui has the ability to find an identical person to pretend to be his daughter. That's true. Yu Qi no longer stared at her, but picked up the spirit fruit on the table and played with it. Do you know? It has been several days since our people were killed. We have lost their news. I think they should be arriving at Great Yu City soon. Do you want to see her? No. Xiao Ruobai refused without thinking. When I see her, it will be time to take revenge on her. That day is not far away. Yu Qi turned and left after saying that. Xiao Ruobai waited for him to leave before picking up her hand under the table, and her palm was pinched by her 4 deep marks. I promised not to tell your identity. This is the last thing I will do for you, she murmured. The next time we meet, we will be enemies. What she didn't notice was that on the beam of the room, a small bee was perched on it. When Sima Yue stepped into Great Yu City, the expression on her face suddenly became a little sad. Enemies? She narrowed her eyes, and when she opened them again, her eyes returned to their usual clarity. Enemies are enemies, in this world. Some people are destined to not be friends. Sheer, don't just stand there, we are going to the inn. Morong Hui stood in front and urged. Coming. Sima Yue walked over quickly. Why are you standing there? Morong Hui asked with concern. Just looking at the streets of Dayu City. Sima Yue answered. Dad, let's go. If you like, you can go out with Gu Zipping and the others. The county competition was around the corner, and the management of Dayu City was still very strict. Even if it's Wang Fei, she won't dare to make trouble for us again. */ Gu Zipping heard him mention his name and said to Sima Yue, Miss, I heard that there are many good places in Dayu City. We are about to go out for a walk. Why don't you join us? Gu Zipping and the others had interacted with Sima Yue a few times because of the spirit gathering formation, so they were more familiar with her than the participants of the city competition. Yes, miss, it's your first time in Dayu City. Let's go and have a look. Let's see how it goes tomorrow. Sima Yue did not agree or reject. It would depend on her mood tomorrow. The group came to the place that had been reserved. She and Morong Hui got the 2 best rooms, and the others each had 1. Sima Yue came to her room and changed the quilt and sheets to her own. Then she set up a boundary and flashed into the spirit pagoda. Yu Yu. Little 7 and the others all rushed towards her and hung on her. You go down, this is my position. You go down, this is my position. Little Golden Snake and He Yen were still fighting for her wrist as the previous 2 times. That was their territory. Yu, when can we go out? Little Seven hugged her and asked coquettishly. Yes, Yu, we haven't been out for a long time. Little Rock also wanted to see what the ghost realm was like. Don't worry. Sima Yue separated the two little guys who were wrestling on her wrist and continued. My identity hasn't been exposed yet. If you go out, I will be exposed in a minute. Alas. Little Seven sighed. It's like this again. When do you plan to let others know your identity? At least wait until my strength increases a little, Sima Yue said. Or wait until I can stand in front of the Ghost King without fear. That feels like a long time. Little Seven shook her hand. I really envy Little Dream and Hua Hua, and also Little Black and Hei Yen. They are dark-type underworld beasts so they can go out with you. I still need Morongxi's identity so... Sima Yue looked at the beasts apologetically. Ever since they woke up, they had never left the spirit pagoda. It was reasonable for them to yearn for the outside world. But she couldn't let them go out. If they went out, her identity would be exposed and others would know that she was Yukuluo's daughter. Yu, don't blame yourself. We were just casually saying it. Little Seven pulled her hand. As long as everyone is fine and can still be together, it's good enough. It's a pity that Little Roar and Thousand Resonance aren't here. Otherwise, everyone can be reunited. Little Dream said sadly. That's right, everyone is here except for the two of them. I really miss them. Yaguang and Thousand Resonance and Little Roar had been together for the longest time, and had the deepest feelings for them. When I return to the human realm, we can meet again. Sima Yue comforted. I will work hard. Although she said so, it would still be a long time later. This was something that everyone was well aware of. At this time, Little Spirit appeared. Looking at the group of sad people, he raised his little face and said, You don't have to be so sad. It's not like there's no way to get them over. Little Spirit, you mean there's a way? The beasts looked at Little Spirit expectantly. Barely. Really? Then what is it? Tell us quickly. Little Spirit climbed into Sima Yue's arms and hugged her neck saying, I only found out recently. What did you find out? Connection. Connection with your body. Little Spirit said. You mean you can still feel the condition of my body from here? Sima Yue asked in astonishment. Little Spirit nodded and continued. I always thought that it was because I had a soul contract with you that I followed your soul to the ghost realm. But as your strength grew, my recovery got better, and I could slowly feel the connection with your body. So, you are now the bridge between my body and soul? Sima Yue was happy. That's right, Little Spirit said. When I fully recover, I can use this to bring Little Roar and Thousand Resonance in your body over. Really? That's great. Everyone was happy. Little Spirit was not as optimistic as them. Don't be happy too early. Based on the current situation, it's impossible in a short time. Chapter 1823. Sima Yue saw that Moronghui didn't look at Hei Yen, but stared at her, and smiled at him. You little girl, you really hide it deeply. Moronghui rubbed her head. This is also good, with the black dragon protecting you. I can also rest assured when we go to Diu City. But, Sima Yue looked at him, not knowing how he would blame himself. If you had told me earlier, I wouldn't have been entangled all the way. But this is good. If you know how to hide your strength, you can better protect yourself. If the princess knew that her contract beast was so powerful, the assassin's scent would not be at this level. Lin, dispose of these bodies. Let's continue on our way. I think the rest of the journey will not be as leisurely as before. */ If the attack failed, the princess would definitely send someone else. Then there would be a lot of pursuit along the way. Father, we don't need to play this game with her. Sima Yue said. The people she sends next time will not be so easy to deal with. What if the people she sends hurt our players? You want to, let's change our route, so that we can go to Diu City calmly. Sima Yue said. It's not good to always have a tail behind us, is it? Moronghui thought about it, nodded and agreed, and told Morong Lin to inform them to change the route. Master, are we going to wait here for those people to catch up? Morong Lin asked. They won't catch up, Sima Yue said. Otherwise, they wouldn't have followed us for so long. The best way is to take the initiative to attack. But we don't know where they are and how many people they have. I know. Sima Yue smiled mysteriously, and the two of them felt numb, feeling that someone was going to suffer. Half a day later. There are so many snakes here. God, this is not the place where the snakes appear at all. Attack. Attack. Ah. Who hit me? I didn't hit you. I'm attacking those stinky snakes. Dash. Everyone who was watching from the side was dumbfounded. They couldn't understand the scene of people killing each other. This is the role of the illusion array. Although I have seen the illusion array once before, it only made the Xiao family tell the truth. I didn't expect this illusion array to be used to attack. Indeed, this array formation is too miraculous. I haven't seen such an array in the ghost realm. Muronglin was also shocked to see this kind of attack illusion array for the first time. Miss, how is this done? It's very simple. In their eyes, their companions are all monsters. Sima Yu explained, this kind of illusion array is a little more difficult than the average one. That's because not only do we have to make them hallucinate, we also have to make them mad, afraid, angry and so on. Only then will they attack the monster in front of them. Ordinary formations don't have this kind of effect. At most, they can create some monsters, but attacking will only consume spiritual power and won't cause this kind of damage. It's really amazing. When we solve these tales, we will go to Dayu City. Sima Yue was no longer interested in the following situation, and the ending would not be unexpected. Miss, there is one more thing I am curious about. Muronglin looked at her, hoping that she could solve his doubts. This is very simple. Sima Yue thought, and many bees flew towards her and stopped on her. These are my bees. Sima Yue stretched out her hand and let the scarlet bees stop on the back of her hand. What are these bees? I didn't feel their existence at all before. Murong Shishin reached out and grabbed one, which looked like an ordinary bee. This is the bee I am responsible for collecting information. I brought it from the human world. For some reason, they fell into a deep sleep before. Now they are awake. Seeing the scarlet bees, she was in a good mood, and the raised corners of her mouth showed her good mood. In the past 2 years, not only the scarlet bees, but other spirit beasts have also woken up one after another. Now the only one who has not woken up is Qi Yan. Both Murong Hui and Murong Lin know her identity, so it is not surprising that she has a contract beast from the human world. With these little guys, it will be much more convenient to do anything in the future. Asking people to spy on the news may be discovered, but these bees are easy to ignore. Otherwise, how do we know the whereabouts of these guys? Sima Yue said, and I have sent some to Dayu City. When we get there, we should be able to know the news there. At that time, I will tell my father about the information collected. Know yourself and know the enemy, and you will not be in a hurry. Murong Hui and Murong Lin were both moved by her actions. It was worth it to meet such a person in their life. When the guards below were solved, they changed their original route and went to Dayu City from another city. Because there were no spies and they lost their route, they walked very calmly all the way. However, compared to their calmness, others were not calm. Xiao Ruabai looked at Yu Qi, who came to her room, and was very puzzled by his control of his hostility. What's wrong? She asked. She would take the initiative to care about him, which was an improvement. When Murong Hui and Murong Shi were in Eternal Brilliant City, you were there too, Yu Qi said. Yes, what's wrong? I remember when she went to Eternal Brilliant City. She was just a waste who didn't know anything. Xiao Ruabai glanced at him and replied, yes. What's wrong? Then why didn't I know that she had such a powerful array attainment in just a few years after she went there? You mean the array formation in the Moon Creek Valley? I saw the young master of the Mo clan was also there. He is an array master. Xiao Ruabai said. So, when you said that the array was arranged by her, I never believed it. You are defending her. Yu Qi stared at her. Why? She is your enemy. I didn't defend her, I just don't think it can be her. Xiao Ruabai looked back at him. You haven't said yet, why are you angry and why are you talking about Murong Shi again? The person sent by the princess to monitor Murong She was killed on the way. Our people found the remnants of the array there. Yuchi said. As far as we know, Moronghui did not bring an array master with him. So you suspect that Moronghui did it. Haven't you ever doubted it? Yuchi leaned close to her face and observed her expression at close range. Why did Moronghui change so much after amnesia? Amnesia will change a person's personality. Will it change a person from a waste to a genius? Ruabai, what do you think? Chapter 1824. Although Little Spirit said so, everyone's enthusiasm was not repulsed. As long as there is hope, it means that it can be realized. Little Dream said. Is there any way for you to recover faster? Yes. As long as you can find a space artifact and merge me with it, I can recover. Little Spirit said. Space artifact? Can you use a space ring? Little Spirit looked at Little Seven with contempt. Is a space ring a divine artifact? It can't even be ranked. What I want is a real divine artifact, you know. Okay. Little Seven pursed her lips. The ghost realm is so big, you can always find a divine artifact. When the time comes, we will snatch it and merge it with you. That's what you said, I'll wait. Little Spirit said with a smile. We'll wait, as long as you find a divine artifact, we will snatch it for you. Little Seven did not jump into the pit dug by Little Spirit, and said with a smile. TSK. Little Spirit rolled his eyes. These words were equivalent to not saying anything. Space artifact. I will go out and ask around. If I'm lucky, I might be able to find out the whereabouts of the space artifact. Sima Yue said. Since it is a divine artifact, it will be hidden. I'm afraid it won't be easy to get the news. Sima Luxian walked over and said. So if I'm lucky, I will know. Sima Yue said. It's best if I can meet it. If not, then when I return to the human realm, I can still reunite with Little Roar, Thousand Resonance and the others. It's best if you think so. Sima Luxian was afraid that she would be obsessed if she suddenly knew such news. Now that he heard her say so, he did not have to worry about her. I didn't plan to go out, but now it seems that I have to go out more. Sima Yue said. Okay, you have to be good inside. I'm going out. When you go out, you have to cultivate well and improve your strength so that we can go out earlier. Little Seven looked at her expectantly. Sima Yue rubbed her hair, agreed, and went out of the spirit pagoda. That night, she sorted out the information collected by the Scarlet Bees and handed it to Moronghui the next morning, then went out with Gu Ziping and the others. As the imperial city of the dynasty, Diyu City was naturally bustling. Moreover, because the county competition was around the corner, many outsiders had come, so there were more people walking on the streets. Miss, where do you want to go? Gu Ziping asked her. Sima Yue stood at the crossroads and looked at the streets that extended in all directions. She said, I want to take a look at the shops that sell underworld weapons. Do you want to buy an underworld artifact? I just want to stroll around. Sima Yue smiled. If you want to go somewhere, you don't have to follow me. I have Ting Shan and Ting Shui to accompany me. Gu Ziping looked at the calm and steady Ting Shan and Ting Shui, who was looking around curiously, and said, We'd better go with you. There is a rule in the city that forbids anyone from attacking the contestants, but it doesn't apply to you. This is Princess Consort's territory. It just so happens that I also want to see if there are any suitable dark artifacts. Let's go together, Zhang Mingda, the other person in the secret trump card, said. Yeah. Fang Yinghan also nodded. I heard that there are a lot of good dark artifacts in Diyu City. Let's go take a look. Maybe we can find something we like. Sima Yue looked at the three of them and smiled. It was not in vain that she had set up the spirit gathering array for them. In that case, let's go. The six of them went to the dark artifact shop. Immediately, a shop assistant came up to them and greeted them warmly. Everyone, what kind of dark artifacts do you want to see? We're just looking around, Fang Yinghan said. Then do you have anything in mind? I can introduce it to you, the shop assistant continued. I want a long sword. Do you have any good ones? Gu Ziping asked. We have a lot of long swords here. There are all kinds of grades. I'll take you to take a look, the shop assistant said. Gu Ziping and the others wanted to go, But Sima Yue said, "You guys go ahead. I'll go to the space container area to take a look. I'll find you guys later." The space container is on the second floor, the shop assistant introduced. Gu Zipping and the others felt that they should be fine since they were all in the shop. They agreed and followed the shop assistant to the weapon area. Sima Yue took Ting Shan and Ting Shui to the second floor of the space container. Immediately, the shop assistant above came up to greet them. "Miss, what do you want to see?" "I want to see the most expensive space container here," Sima Yue said. When the shop assistant heard this, her eyes lit up. She bowed slightly and said with a smile, "Please follow me." Sima Yue followed her to the innermost area. The things on the shelves here were the least, but from the box, it could be seen that the things here were more expensive than the ones in front. On this shelf is our most expensive space container here. This is a space ring. The volume inside can hold half of a city. In this box is a bracelet. The space inside is similar to this space ring. In this box is also a bracelet, but it can hold a city. Inside this, the shop assistant opened all the boxes on the shelf. Each box contained an exquisite underworld tool. However, Sima Yue only took a glance and lost interest. "Don't you have anything better?" she asked. "What do you want, miss?" "A divine tool. It's best if it already has a tool spirit." Sima Yue made her request. The shop assistant was so shocked by her words that he couldn't speak. He was slightly angry. He thought that she was making fun of him and didn't really want to buy a space container. However, seeing that she was serious and didn't seem to be joking, his anger was suppressed again. "Miss, we are just an ordinary underworld tool shop. We don't have such a precious underworld tool. Not to mention us, even the best underworld tool shop doesn't have such an underworld tool. Because such an underworld tool won't be taken out at all," he said. A hint of disappointment flashed in Sima Yue's eyes. Then, she nodded to the shop assistant and said sorry for disturbing. She turned around and walked back. The shop assistant didn't send her out. Instead, he carefully closed the lid of the box. Before Sima Yue came down the stairs, she heard a commotion below and Zhang Mingda's persuasion. "Ziping, don't be impulsive. This is Dayu City." Then came Fang Yinghan's voice. "They are also contestants in the region competition." "But you saw it first," Gu Ziping said angrily. "What do you mean who saw it first? This is a shop. You don't have it, so it's not yours. Of course the highest bidder gets it. If you don't have the money, don't be an eyesore here." An arrogant voice mixed with a few wild laughter came out. Hearing this, Ting Shui wanted to curse. Sima Yue stood on the stairs and looked at the commotion below. "The highest bidder gets it. It's really good. Boss, I want that long sword." Chapter 1825. The sudden interruption silenced the crowd. Sima Yue took out a crystal card and threw it into the hands of the shop assistant, saying, "I want that sword." The shop assistant took her card. After seeing the type of card, he immediately became respectful. "Miss, I will wrap up the sword for you." He was about to swipe his card when he was stopped by a man in white. He looked at Sima Yue and said, "Who are you? How dare you steal my sword?" "Who I am is not important. What's important is that I've also taken a fancy to that sword." Sima Yue smiled. "You just said that the sword belongs to the shop if you haven't paid for it. Everyone can buy it, and the highest bidder will get it. I'm just following your rules. So you want to go against me? Do you know who I am?" The man in white asked with a dark expression. "Who are you?" "I don't care. This young miss doesn't know any random cat or dog." Sima Yue leaned her body against the railing of the stairs, disdaining his identity. "You've got guts. Our young master is the young master of the He family, He Su." The lackey behind the man shouted. "He clan?" Sima Yue chuckled. "I know that the 7th family in Dayu City ranked 10th in the dynasty competition." "It's good that you know." He Su gave a smug look to Sima Yue, but his smug look did not last for more than 2 seconds. "But so what? You were the one who said that the highest bidder would get it. I just like it, so I'll have to ask young master he depart with it." Sima Yue urged the shop assistant as she spoke. "What are you still standing there for? Hurry up and swipe your card. I'm leaving. Yes. Yes. The shop assistant nodded and bowed. When Hisu let go of her, she wanted to swipe Sima Yoyue's card. Wait. Hisu stopped him. She hasn't called out a price yet. Why are you swiping her card? Young master, you won't be able to raise her price. The shop assistant said. It's still too early to tell. Don't you know my family's financial resources? Hisu said with a cold smile. Young master, she just gave you the dragon crystal card. The shop assistant only said one sentence, and Hisu's words were all stuck in his throat. Everyone looked at Sima Yuyue in a different light. Even a 3-year-old child knew that the dragon crystal card was the most valuable crystal card among all the crystal cards. Only people above Wangya were qualified to use it. And the lowest amount of money inside was at least 5 billion. Therefore, don't compare money with people who have dragon crystal card, because there is no comparison. Who are you? How can you have a dragon crystal card? Hisu looked at Sima Yuyue and guessed her identity. When Fang Yinghan saw the shop assistant swiping the card, she hurried over and said, Miss, the price is too expensive. Let's forget it. Because Hisu had just raised the price very high. If Sima Yuyu went to buy it, the price must be above Hisu's price. Sima Yuyue glanced at Fang Yinghan and said, Did you take a fancy to this long sword? Yinghan has caused trouble for Mississippi, Fang Yinghan said with self-reproach. There is no trouble. It's just a long sword. I can still afford to give it to you. Sima Yuyue said. Later, I'll ask my father to prepare more money for each of you, so that some people won't look down on you. Fang Yinghan held back her laughter and lowered her head. Thank you, Mississippi. You are that trash Morongshi from Vast Region? Someone beside Hisu recognized her identity and exclaimed. Vast Region? The very backward Vast Region? Everyone looked at Sima Yuyue with a different gaze. They really couldn't put her and the dragon crystal card together. How can a trash have a dragon crystal card? Hisu questioned. You couldn't have stolen that dragon crystal card from somewhere, right? Oh. If it's so easy to steal, why don't you try to steal one for me? Sima Yuyue laughed. If you can steal one, I will give you mine. Everyone present laughed and looked at Hisu as if they were looking at a fool. How could a dragon crystal card be so easy to steal? Not to mention that the person who owns the dragon crystal card has a noble status, and there are many people around to protect them. Just say that this dragon crystal card and the owner's thoughts are connected. If the owner is not willing, others can't use it. Therefore, no one has ever been able to steal a dragon crystal card. As for her dragon crystal card, it was given to her by Deja when he left. Not only that, but there is also a dragon crystal card in her spirit pagoda, which is marked with the Mo clan's logo. Impossible. How can Vast Region have a dragon crystal card? Hisu was still unwilling. What's impossible? Do you think that because my Vast Region is scarce in resources and my strength is low, I can't have a dragon crystal card? Sima Yuyue chuckled. Then have you all forgotten who my mother is? Her mother? Many people really don't know. Who is your mother? My mother? Princess Jinghua has been dead for many years. However, I have a very powerful uncle. With him, a mere dragon crystal card is nothing. Sima Yuyue looked around at the people below, and the aura she released was very domineering. Miss, it has been swiped. The shop assistant came over with her card and the wrapped long sword. Sima Yuyue glanced at Fang Yinghan. He took it and then handed her the crystal card. Sima Yuyue took the crystal card. Let's go. Let's go to other shops. This miss will buy you all the things you like today. Tingshan, Tingshui, you also go and have a look. I will give you benefits today. Thank you, miss. The group of people crowded around and left, not caring that Hisu was choked by her until his face turned red. In the end, Hisu gritted his teeth and left with his people. People familiar with him knew that he already hated this woman who made him lose face. In the private room upstairs, a man in a pink robe put down the weapon in his hand and looked at the bored person next to him. He laughed and teased. When did you treat your niece so well? I remember that you haven't cared about the affairs of Vast Region since your sister died, right? Of course you don't know. Yushi knocked the edge of the teacup with the lid. Even I don't know, how do you know? What? The man in the pink robe was stunned. Didn't you give it to her? I was angry that Jinghua didn't listen to me and insisted on marrying Morong Hui. Since her death, I haven't cared about the affairs of vast region. I didn't even know that my niece, who was called Trash, had such an imposing manner. Yushi put down the lid of the cup and collided with the cup, making a crisp sound. This means... Yushi poked the lid of the cup and said, since the task here is over, I will find something for myself to do. My niece seems to be very interested now, so I will go and meet her and ask when she will return the dragon crystal card to me. Chapter 1826. Sima Yue didn't know this and continued to take a few people to visit the underworld artifact shop. As she expected, there was no whereabouts of the space artifact in those shops. The space artifact was too rare. No matter who got it, it would not be revealed. Just like her spirit pagoda, there were only a few people who knew about it. It was not until the evening that she returned to the inn with people. Before she entered, she saw the guard outside looking at her nervously. Miss, you are finally back. Morong Lin came out of the inn and saw Sima Yue and said anxiously, Uncle Lin, what's the matter? Sima Yue asked. Miss, the envoy is here. Envoy? Sima Yue blinked. Who is it? Why are you scared like this? Morong Lin remembered that she didn't know this and explained to her. The envoy is your mother's brother, your uncle. He is the king's envoy. My uncle? Why is he here? Sima Yue asked in surprise. He was mentioned in the morning, and he was here at night. Would he come to expose her lie? The envoy said that he happened to be working in the Great Yu City. He knew that you were here, so he came to see you. Morong Lin said. Sima Yue's mouth twitched. He knew that she was here. Was it because she mentioned him in the morning? Didn't father say that he hasn't seen us since mother died? I don't understand why he came here at this time. Sima Yue curled her lips. Anyway, you should go in quickly, Morong Lin said. Master can't hold on any longer. Is father afraid of uncle? How can he be a brother-in-law? Morong Lin smiled. You'd better go in quickly. Then I'll save father. Sima Yue nodded and strode into the inn. When she went to the small courtyard in the back, she saw several new faces, probably the guards of the envoy. She went into the living room and saw Morong Hui sitting in the main seat, with a man in black and a man in pink sitting on both sides. Father. Sima Yue bowed to Morong Hui, then stood still and looked at the two strangers. Why aren't you paying your respects when you see your uncle? The pink-robed man said. Sima Yue glanced at him, then bowed to the man in black and called him uncle. Haven't you never seen her before? Then how does she know who her uncle is? The pink-robed man cried out. Ask her. Yushi said. The man in the pink shirt stared at Sima Yue as if he had been deceived, waiting for her to give him an answer. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. My father is so handsome and my mother is so gentle. I definitely don't have such a flirtatious brother. Are you saying that I'm a show-off? The man in pink jumped up from his chair. He was infuriated by Sima Yue's words. What is a person who wears a pink shirt if he's not a show-off? Sima Yue said very honestly. How is wearing pink a show-off? I'm obviously young. Sima Yue glanced at him. Show-off everywhere. It was the first time Yushi heard this. He felt that it was not bad and nodded in agreement. This word is used well. You're also smart. You didn't recognize the wrong person. Thank you for the compliment, uncle. Sima Yue smiled at him. I don't know why uncle is here today. Is it to catch up with my father? I have nothing to catch up with your father. Yushi stared at her. I heard you say that I gave you a dragon crystal card in the underworld artifact shop this morning. I actually don't have anything to do. I just came to ask you, when did this happen? Why don't I have any impression of it? Cough cough. Sima Yue said in her heart that it was indeed for this matter, but she didn't expect him to hear it with his own ears. Yushi leaned forward slightly and looked at her. Sima Yue rolled her eyes and didn't answer his question. Instead, she said, since uncle was there, why didn't you come out to help that he family's young master is too much. You're not me. How do you know that I didn't help you? Yushi asked. Uncle, what did you do? Sima Yue knew that there was a chance when she heard this. It's nothing. Your uncle asked me to beat up that Hisu. He probably broke a few ribs and 2 legs. The man in the pink shirt said. Uncle, who are you? Sima Yue asked. Me. My name is Lang Yu. I'm also a messenger like your uncle. Lang Yu introduced himself. You can call me Uncle Lang. Uncle Lang. Sima Yue's mouth twitched. Not only was he dressed like a show-off, but his name was also so feminine. Shir, were you bullied? Moronghui asked. It's not a big deal. It's just that a guy wanted to snatch the sword that Fang Yinghan fancied, and then I used money to get it back. So in the end, the person who was bullied was him, not me. You don't have to worry. Sima Yue walked over, stood beside him, and held his shoulder. Really? Of course it's true. When have I ever lied to you? That's not necessarily true. Lang Yu said, this He family still has some power in Du City. Now that you're against the He family, they will definitely make trouble for vast region. Didn't Uncle already help me? Sima Yue smiled gratefully at Yushi. With Uncle's help, there will definitely be no problem. You really believe him? Lang Yu sneered. Of course he's my uncle. Sima Yue believed in Yushi's strength. Otherwise, Morong Lin and the others wouldn't be so nervous. When Yushi heard this, he curled his lips. Am I really your uncle? Sima Yue's heart tightened. Of course you are, right, father? Yes, you'll know when you look at her and Jinghua's appearance. Moronghui thought that he thought Yushi had seen her for the first time, so he asked this question. Who are you? What's your relationship with Deja? Yushi's coercion was all locked on Sima Yue, and he immediately felt a little breathless. Brother-in-law, what are you doing? Moronghui stood up and stood in front of Sima Yue, blocking the coercion for her. I just want to make sure who dares to pretend to be Jinghua's daughter. Deja actually sent such a similar person over. What is his ulterior motive? Yushi looked at Moronghui. And you, my brother-in-law, why are you helping a fake Shir to deceive me? Moronghui wanted to say no, but when he saw Yushi's determined and angry look, he knew that he had already guessed it. Do you want to confess? Lang Yu obviously knew it for a long time, so he wasn't surprised to see this scene. Yushi stared at the two of them. I'll give you one last chance. Why are you pretending to be Jinghua's child? Why are you helping her? Where is Jinghua's real child? Speak, or die. You choose for yourself. Chapter 1827. Speak or die, it's your choice. It was a very domineering sentence. Coupled with his intimidating pressure, it was indeed easy to scare a group of people. However, there was obviously no one in this group. Sima Yue leaned out from behind Moronghui, looked at the angry Yushi and said, Uncle, how did you find out? Every dragon crystal card has the aura left by the previous user. When you swipe the card you receive will be stained with some aura. And I just identified Deja's aura. Yushi said. Why don't you tell me now? What is your relationship with Deja? Are you the person he sent to sneak into vast region? How could he identify it like this? Sima Yue curled her lips. Well, we'll tell you. You put away your aura first, it's scary. Say it. You scared my father. Sima Yue felt Moronghui's nervousness and said. Moronghui was not only not as strong as him, but he had probably been afraid of Yushi before, so his body was very stiff. However, he stood in front of her without any intention of retreating. Yushi was a little surprised by the reason she said, and the relationship between the two. Obviously, Moronghui knew her true identity, but he still tried to protect her. She was also worried that he would be hurt by her. He restrained some of his pressure to make Moronghui feel better. Say it. Sima Yue looked at Lang Yu. It's okay. Yushi said so, completely trusting Lang Yu. However, Sima Yue did not trust Lang Yu, but if she told him he would tell Lang Yu, so she did not insist on letting him go. If she told them now, if they wanted to say it, would it be too late for her to kill the two of them? Although they are not on good terms with General D, they are not Anaheim's faction. Moronghui saw her hesitation and said. Sima Yue nodded at him and said, Actually, the real Morong, she is already dead. And I just arrived at the ghost realm at the same time and place, and was saved by my father. Then in order to find out who killed Morongshi, I took her identity. Shira is dead? Who killed him? They were sent by the Onihime Sukue. Sima Yue said. But Sukue and the others have already been killed. Sukue was killed by you? I was wondering who killed him. Onihime was so angry. Lang Yu's impression of Sima Yue improved a lot. Sukue used to be the person he disliked the most. Well, we didn't kill him. When we were about to kill him, Deja and the others came. They were the ones who did it. Sima Yue said. Were you sent by Deja? Yushi asked. No. Sima Yue shook her head. But I do know him, and that dragon crystal card was given to me by him. No, you just said that the time and place of Morongshi's death, you just happened to come to the ghost realm. So, you were not from the ghost realm before? Lang Yu grasped the key point. Are you? Yushi thought of the same possibility as him, and then turned his questioning gaze to Moronghui. Seeing him nod, he believed her identity. My goodness, are you really? Sima Yue touched her face and said. It's the real deal. This face does look like Kaluo. Yushi looked at Sima Yue. I didn't expect you to come to the ghost realm from the human realm. That's not right. Lang Yu sniffed. I can't smell a human on you. Are you born in the year of the dog? Sima Yue glared at him. I'm not born in the year of the dog, but my nose is very sensitive. Even if you hide your human aura, I can smell it. Lang Yu said. You really don't have it on you. She. Moronghui turned to look at her. He always thought that she was hiding her human aura, wasn't she? Then that. Sima Yue didn't know what to say and returned herself to her soul state. That's it. Your soul? Are you already dead? I was. But they saved my body and let me hang on to my last breath. But my soul can't go back for the time being. Sima Yue said. But I can also have memories of my life. Why didn't you tell me before that you are a soul race? You. Moronghui looked at Sima Yue's transparent body and blamed himself for his carelessness. I was able to condense my body because of some opportunities. In fact, it's nothing. I can already cultivate now. Sima Yue comforted. Whether it's the ghost race or the soul race, it's nothing. The news I got today is too exciting. I have to digest it well. Lang Yu sat back in his chair in a daze, obviously shocked by Sima Yue's identity. Speaking of which, we are still related by blood. You have to call me uncle, Yushi said. So it's not wrong for me to call you uncle just now. Sima Yue quickly tried to get close to him. Does the king know that you came to the ghost realm? Yushi asked. Sima Yue shook her head. I'm still using the identity of Murongshi, so not many people know about it. You also know that I killed Onihime's son, you do, and she sent people to the human world to kill me. If she knew that I came to the ghost realm, she probably wouldn't have a peaceful life. And my current strength is not enough for me to walk freely in the ghost realm. So it's better to keep it a secret first and wait until my strength increases. If you tell the king, he will protect your safety, Yushi said. I will go to see him when I need to know the whereabouts of my mother. You, for that matter, you really can't blame the king. Yushi was also present at that time, so he knew something. I know, he was also forced to do so. But knowing is one thing, and having one's own thoughts is another. Sima Yue said. I don't want him to know that I'm in the ghost realm now. So you have to keep it a secret for me. Yushi was a little hesitant. After all, the person he was loyal to was the Ghost King. And he knew that the Ghost King actually cared about her and her mother. Was it really good to hide it from him? If you say it out loud, don't blame me for being ruthless. Sima Yue threatened. If you say it out loud, it's better to kill you now. What? You want to kill us? When Lang Yu heard this, he didn't know whether to be angry or laugh. Did you plan to do this long ago? It's not that long ago, but I thought that if you were on Onihime's side, you would never be able to leave this in today, Sima Yue said. Do you think you can keep us here? Lang Yu raised his eyebrows and was in a good mood. Sima Yue smiled at him. If you don't believe me, you can try. Chapter 1828. Give it a try? Let's try it. Lang Yu refused to admit defeat and said, Your uncle and I are 2 people, and you are alone. We have so many guards outside, and they are much stronger than you. How are you going to make us stay? Sima Yue did not say anything and quickly formed a seal with her hands. Before they could react, she had already surrounded the house with a barrier. This barrier can isolate the situation inside, so the people outside don't even know that you are trapped. After dealing with you, wouldn't it be easy to deal with them? But the people outside can't hear what's going on inside, so you can't ask for help. The 2 of you are far weaker than the 2 of us. Do you think there's a chance of winning? Lang Yu said. Why don't you try and see if you can still use your spiritual energy? Sima Yue looked at him with a smile. Her confident look made her even more lively. Lang Yu tried to run his spiritual power, and found that there seemed to be something in his meridians that was hindering the operation of his spiritual power. You poisoned us? Lang Yu was shocked. With his nose, he didn't smell the poison. Yushi also gave it a try and found that the circulation of spiritual power was indeed not that smooth. He looked at Sima Yue and no one knew what he was thinking. Although the flow of our spiritual energy isn't very smooth, we can still use it. And we also have contract beasts. Lang Yu said. Contract beast? Do you want to compete with me? Sima Yue asked. Lang Yu was just about to say that he was right when Yushi spoke first. We lost. Yushi? Admitting defeat just like that? If we fight, we still have a chance to win. Lang Yu said. Competing with her in contracted beasts is just asking for trouble. Have you forgotten about her contracted beast in the human world? Yushi said. Lang Yu was at a loss for words, and then said, Isn't her contract beast in the human world? Since she's so sure, it means that she must have brought it over. Yushi said. And some of her contracted beasts are of the dark attribute, and they're very powerful. Lang Yu opened his mouth and then said, Well, if you hadn't secretly poisoned us, we wouldn't have lost. It doesn't matter what method I use, as long as I win against you. Sima Yue said. Are you going to tell your enemy that I'm going to poison you and that you should be careful? Well, they couldn't do it either. When did you poison him? Lang Yu asked. Why didn't I smell anything at all? This is a colorless and odorless poison that I specially developed for powerful people. When did I put the poison in? I was frightened by Uncle just now. My hand trembled and I accidentally spilled it. Sima Yue was very innocent. She accidentally spilled it. Only a fool would believe her. Fortunately, we are not your enemies. Lang Yu thought of her means and wisdom and said happily. If you are my enemy, I won't use this. Sima Yue snorted. She still had a lot of poisons. If it was an enemy, she would definitely use antivirus and not such a mild poison. Can you show me your poison? Lang Yu asked. It's the first time a poison can escape my nose. Sure. If you promise to keep it a secret, I will give you the antidote and then show you the poison. Sima Yue said. I have no problem. Anyway, I don't see the king often. Lang Yu agreed very quickly. Seeing this, Yushi could only agree helplessly. Sima Yue took out a jade bottle and threw it to Yushi. Then she came to Lang Yu's side and took out a black jade bottle and put it on the table. Lang Yu picked up the jade bottle and poured some powder on his hand. Then he leaned over and sniffed it. There was no smell. Where did you get this poison? I'm going to ask him how you did it. In fact, it's nothing. I just pay attention to the combination of the raw materials and then refine it to make it purer. Sima Yue said. Did you refine this? I made it when I had nothing to do. Are you a poison master? Kind of. Then do you have any other poisons? Let me see if they are colorless and odorless. How can there be so many colorless and odorless poisons? Some are still not up to that level, but they are better than the others. Sima Yue took out a bunch of poisons. After Lang Yu looked at them, he became even more excited. He jumped on the chair and squatted down, discussing these poisons with her. Yushi and Morong Hui looked at the 2 people who were discussing in full swing, and looked at each other helplessly. Tell me the whole story. Yushi was speechless and could only talk to Morong Hui. Morong Hui told Yushi what had happened over the years from beginning to end. Hearing that Morong Hui was really dead, Yushi still felt sad. Although he didn't care about her all these years, she was still his sister's blood after all. Now she was dead. When he heard what Sima Yue did for vast region and Murong Hui, he sighed. She and her mother's temperament are really similar. It's really enviable that the princess has such a daughter, Murong Hui said. But I am also very lucky to get her to treat me wholeheartedly. She really respects me as a father. It's really good. But you have to remember, before her strength is improved, her identity can't be exposed. In addition to Aniheim, her enemies are those who died in Fair Eastern City. The incident at Fair Eastern City in the human realm had caused a huge commotion in the ghost realm because many forces had people who died in that incident. And they all knew that this matter was finally destroyed by Sima Yue. If he didn't mention this, Murong Hui wouldn't have remembered this matter. Now it seemed that her situation in the ghost realm was really dangerous. I will be careful, he responded. The two chatted for a long time, and Lang Yu and Sima Yue were still talking endlessly. To be precise, it was Lang Yu who pulled Sima Yue and talked endlessly. Most of the time he was talking, and Sima Yue was listening, occasionally interjecting a few words. However, what she said made Lang Yu feel enlightened. So even if she didn't say much, he didn't care. Yushi endured and endured, but in the end he couldn't help but interrupt him. We should go back. Go back. Go back where? Lang Yu looked at him with a dumbfounded face. Yushi held his forehead. We should go back to the inn. They still have things to do. We won't go back. Lang Yu waved his hand. I will live with Shir. Anyway, Shir said that she won't participate in the region competition. So there's no need to prepare anything. Let's move to this inn too. We have to go back to the imperial city to report to the king. Didn't the king say that after this matter is done, he will let us rest? You. Well, I won't go anyway. Wherever Shir is, I will be there. If you want to go, you can go by yourself. Sima Yue's mouth twitched. Hey, do you have to say it so ambiguously? Chapter 1829. Yushi knew that once Lang Yu's stubborn temper flared up, no one could change it. He could only helplessly instruct the guards to change their into this one. His grade had dropped a lot in an instant, wasn't it? However, Murong Hui was even more helpless. They didn't even ask for his permission to switch to this inn. What about human rights? Sima Yue was also helpless, because Lang Yu had been talking to her for several hours. And Yushi and Murong Hui had already left the living room. Uncle Yu, look, the sky is already dark. She pointed at the pitch-black night sky outside. It's already night time? Lang Yu didn't realize it at all. Time flies. Yes. Sima Yue smiled. Well, I'm going back to rest. Goodbye. After that, she ran out of the living room and went back to her room without waiting for Lang Yu's answer. If he didn't seize the opportunity to leave, he wouldn't be able to. Lang Yu was very hurt. Was he someone that people wanted to avoid? He was not a venomous snake or beast. Early the next morning, Sima Yue took Ting Shan and Ting Shui out, saying that they had not found the whereabouts of the space artifact. But in fact, it was to avoid the crazy Lang Yu. Therefore, when Lang Yu went to find Sima Yue and learned that she had gone out, he was hit hard in the back. Am I that terrible? He said sadly. Compared to her, you are indeed. Yushi said. TSK, I don't care about you. Lang Yu rolled his eyes at him. By the way, didn't she offend the princess? As far as I know, the princess consort of Great Yu is a vengeful woman. She should know that Shir has arrived in Great Yu City. Won't it be a problem for her to run out like this? Yushi frowned. This was indeed a problem. Why don't we go find her? We have nothing to do anyway. Lang Yu said with a smile. But I don't know where she went. That's easy. Have you forgotten my specialty? Yushi glanced at him. I remember now. You have a dog's nose. Come on, let your dog nose do its job. Hey, let me remind you for the 354th time that my nose is not called a dog's nose. Lang Yu shouted. It's the same. Yushi ignored his clamor. If you don't go now, I'll change my mind. You win. I don't know whose niece she is. Lang Yu protested, but still led the way obediently. His nose was especially sensitive to smells, and this might have something to do with the underworld beast he had contracted. He had stayed with Sima Yue yesterday. If he wanted to, he could catch her scent in the air and find her. They followed the smell for a long time, and entered all the shops that sold underworld tools. Thinking that he was also in the underworld tool shop yesterday, Lang Yu asked, "Is she so short of underworld tools?" "She must be looking for something," Yushi guessed. "We've searched so many places. It seems that it's not easy to find that thing." Lang Yu touched his chin. "Let's ask him later." "Even if we don't have it, the king should have it too," Yushi said. "If you tell the king, I bet you'll be tortured badly by her. Her poisons TSK are really good." When Lang Yu talked about Sima Yoyue's poisons, he became excited. "Don't waste any more time here. How much longer will it take to find her?" "Soon, let's go this way." Sima Yue walked into a small alley with Ting Shan and Ting Shui. Soon a group of men in black blocked the front, back, and both sides of the alley. "So many people have come, they really think highly of me." Sima Yue looked at them, and had a rough idea in her heart. "Murong Shi, if you have self-awareness, surrender obediently, so that the people around you will feel better." "I have a lot of people, but I have fewer shortcomings. The main shortcoming is that I don't have self-awareness. So, I'm afraid I'll disappoint you," Sima Yue said. "Ha. Then don't blame us for using force. Go." Sima Yue called out He Yen and Little Meng, and then pulled Ting Shan and Ting Shui to the wall and stopped. Ting Shan condensed a protective circle, and enveloped the three of them. "Wakaka, people like you want to kill my contractor. You must be tired of living. Eat my tail first," He Yen said and swung his tail. Sima Yue rolled her eyes. "You always say this sentence, can't you change the line?" Little Meng was much quieter. Looking at the men in black, she didn't say anything, condensed her spirit power and started fighting. When He Yen started fighting, she had already taken down 2 enemies. "Damn, do you have to be so fast? Don't you have to say something first? Why did you start fighting directly?" He Yen exclaimed. Since he joined the beasts, he knew that they would often compete to see who killed more enemies. This was the first time he killed enemies with other contract beasts. He didn't expect to meet Little Meng, who didn't play by the rules. Little Meng rolled her eyes at He Yen during the gap in the battle. Acting cool at this time, wasn't that waiting for people to attack? He Yen didn't pretend anymore after being stared at by her. He spread his wings and attacked those men in black. Sima Yue felt that He Yen needed Little Meng to spur him on. Let him be with Little Meng more in the future. He Yen, who was fighting with the enemy, suddenly felt a little cold, as if he had been schemed against. When Yushi and Lang Yu arrived, they saw corpses in the alley, and 3 people in the corner who were not stained with blood. Yushi frowned when he saw a portion of the corpses that were intact and a portion that had been torn into pieces. "Are you guys alright?" Sima Yue shrugged. "What do you think? It seems that you are not the ones who are in trouble." Lang Yu looked at the corpses. "Tiske, you are too cruel. You even dismembered them. You all use poison. Which one of them didn't die tragically?" Although Sima Yue disliked He Yan's violence a little, she was still very protective of her beasts in front of outsiders. "Who said that? Many of my poisons are very gentle, and their deaths are absolutely beautiful. Do you want to take a look?" Lang Yu defended himself and tempted her at the same time. Sima Yue was too lazy to pay attention to him. If she agreed, he would talk a lot again without stopping. She turned her gaze to Yushi. "Uncle, why are you here?" "Passing by," Yushi said lightly. "It seems that the princess consort of Great Yu underestimated your strength again. You are pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. That's good." Sima Yue laughed. "Otherwise, I would probably be dead by now." "That's true. Let's dispose of these corpses directly." After Lang Yu finished speaking, he poured some liquid on the corpses. As soon as the liquid touched the corpses immediately turned into pools of blood. Uncle Yu, I have something else to do, so I'll leave first." "Hey, or are you still going to the underworld weapon shop? What are you looking for?" "This underworld weapon shop is almost finished by you." "How do you know?" Before she finished speaking, she felt movement in the spirit pagoda and took out the Sun Mother stone. She or something happened. Chapter 1830. Something happened again? She or where are you now? Were you attacked? Moronghui asked anxiously. Father, I'm fine. What happened? Gu Zipping and the others went out and were beaten up. Sima Yue was shocked. Aren't they contestants? How dare those people do it? Do you know who did it? Lang Yu asked. I don't know yet. Shir, are you with Lord Envoy? Okay, father, we'll be back soon. Sima Yue said as she put away the Mother Sun stone and glanced at Yushi and the others. He's still my brother-in-law. Let's go take a look together, Yushi said. They returned to the inn and Sima Yue went straight to Gu Zipping's room. Morong Hui, Morong Lin, Fang Yinghan, and others were all inside, all bruised and swollen. Gu Zi was lying on the bed as a doctor was treating him. Blood dyed the entire bed red. Father. Morong Hui turned his head to look at her. Seeing that she was intact, he said, It's good that you're back. How's Gu Zipping? Sima Yue asked. Fang Yinghan's eyes were filled with tears, and she was on the verge of breaking down. It's all because of me, Ziping. Zhang Mingda's face was full of tears and blood. He was ashamed when he saw Sima Yue. The county had spent so much time, energy, and resources just for this competition. Who would have thought that before the competition even began, they would have already suffered heavy casualties? Shir Ziping's meridians have been cut, Morong Hui said. Don't worry, I'll take a look at his condition first. Sima Yue nodded at everyone. The doctor stepped aside and allowed her to treat the patient. Sima Yue first checked his external injuries and sighed in her heart. No wonder they were like this. If it was an ordinary doctor, Gu Zipping would be crippled. Then he checked his internal injuries. Although they were more serious, they were easier to deal with compared to external injuries. Shir, how is he? Morong Hui asked. He had spent a lot of money to nurture Gu Zipping for this competition. Now that it was like this, he was afraid that this chess piece could no longer be used. Sima Yue knew Morong Hui's thoughts and said regretfully, I'm afraid he won't be able to participate in this competition. Zhang Mingda burst into tears, and the tears in Fang Yinghan's eyes couldn't help but fall. It's all my fault. If it weren't for me, how could Zipping become a cripple? Royal Prince, we have failed to live up to your expectations. Zhang Mingda knelt down with a thud and slapped himself repeatedly. Alright, Gu Zipping is like this. It's useless no matter how much you regret it. And I can't blame you for this. Morong Hui's mood was a little irritable, but he tried to restrain himself from getting angry. When Sima Yue saw the two of them crying, she thought to herself that the three of them usually cultivated together, and their relationship was really good. I didn't say that Zipping would become a cripple. I just said that he can't participate in this competition. Her words made the two of them stop crying. Zipping can still be saved? But didn't you and the doctor say that he was going to become a cripple? Zhang Mingda said with some disbelief. I just said that he can't participate in the competition. It was the doctor who said that he can't be saved, not me. You have to understand it yourself. Sima Yue said. I can make him recover, but it will take a long time. He will definitely not be able to catch up with this competition. When Morong Hui heard that there was still hope, he felt a lot more comfortable. Even if he couldn't participate in the competition, he could continue to be used by him in the future. Since there is a way, I'll have to trouble you, he said to Sima Yue. Father, this is a trivial matter. What's important is the competition. Sima Yue said. Zipping was originally one of our trump cards. Now that he can't participate, then we have one less player. There are still a few days before the competition. We have to quickly fill this vacancy. I'll discuss this with Lin again. You go and treat him first. After Morong Hui finished speaking, he took the people in the room out, leaving her to heal Gu Zipping. Sima Yue looked at Gu Zipping, who was covered in blood, thinking that he had accompanied her to go shopping yesterday, and now he was like this. She couldn't help but sigh. Don't worry, I will definitely cure you. She took out the silver needles and began to stop the bleeding and heal him. Outside the door, Morong Hui and Morong Lin were discussing things. Zhang Mingda and the others were guarding the door, waiting for Sima Yue to come out. Lang Yu and Yushi didn't leave. Did you see it? Lang Yu asked. Yes. Yushi understood what he was talking about. Then it's not my illusion. Lang Yu said. I used my divine sense to check that person's injuries. All his meridians were destroyed. Coupled with other injuries, this is definitely a situation where he's crippled. She actually said that she can cure him. How good is her medical skills? Even the imperial doctor may not be as confident as her. Yushi said confidence, not her medical skills, which meant that he didn't really believe in her medical skills. If she can really do it, then her medical skills are better than the imperial doctor. Lang Yu said excitedly. Hee, those doctors rely on their medical skills, and their buttocks are going to be raised to the sky all day long. If you let her slap their faces, hee. Yushi also laughed. Maybe there will be such a day. Because they were interested in Sima Yue's medical skills, the two of them didn't leave and waited in the yard with everyone. Not long after, a guard came over and said a few words to Morong Hui. Morong Hui left after telling Morong Lin something. The guard said, You the great Wangya asked him to go to the palace. Lang Yu looked at Morong Hui's departing figure, touched his chin, and said, It seems that the situation of you the great Wangya is not very good. It's been so long since he found out. His body has seriously restricted his strength. If this continues, the great Yu dynasty will probably have to change its actual ruler. Yushi said, He is on Deja's side. Whether something happens or not, it has nothing to do with us. But they won't think so. Just don't cause trouble for her. Yushi didn't care much about other people, but if Sima Yue was involved, then he wouldn't agree. The princess consort of Great Yu is fine, but I'm afraid that the forces behind her. Lang Yu said with some worry. A traitor, what's there to worry about? Yushi didn't have a good impression of the forces behind the princess consort of Great Yu, nor was he afraid of them. No matter how powerful they were, they didn't dare to go against the Ghost King. A few hours later, the closed door opened, and then a tired Sima Yue came out from inside. Miss, how is Zipping? The situation has stabilized, and he just needs to recover slowly. Sima Yue said, Where's my father? Only then did everyone realize that Morong Hui had been away for several hours. It was reasonable to say that if he just went to talk about this matter, he should have come back long ago. Chapter 1831. Sima Yue saw that everyone's expression was not right, and her heart sank. Did something happen to my father? Miss, shortly after we came out, someone from the Wangfu came to call the master over. Zhang Mingda said. It's been so long he hasn't come back yet? Sima Yue frowned. No. Where's Uncle Lin? The person in charge of the competition came to see the Duke, and Director Morong went to receive him. It should be about Zipping. Girl, can we go and see that person? Lang Yu asked. Sima Yue glanced at the two of them, nodded, and then said to Zhang Mingda and others. You are also injured. Take these pills, and they will help you recover before the competition. Thank you, Mississippi. They all knew that Sima Yue's pills were better than other pills, and for the sake of the competition they did not refuse. You look after Zipping. If anything happens, contact me in time. I'll go and see how Uncle Lin is doing. Sima Yue finished speaking and left Gu Zipping's courtyard. Lang Yu and Yushi came to the room. Lang Yu went up to see Gu Zipping's situation and said in shock. His meridians have been connected. Are you sure? Yushi was a little surprised, but not as shocked as him. Yes. Although it's not completely healed yet, it's all connected. As long as it's supplemented with pills, it will be fully recovered in time. Lang Yu said. Zhang Mingda and others came in and happened to hear him say this. Their hearts were a lot better, and at the same time, they admired Sima Yue's medical skills. I always thought that our talent was very good, but now compared with Miss, I feel that we are not good enough at all. Fang Yinghan sighed. And we are not as hard-working as Mississippi, Zhang Mingda said. Miss saved Zipping for us, we must repay her well. You have to compete well and win glory for vast region, which is to repay them. Yushi finished speaking and left the room with Lang Yu. Sima Yue came to the inn's living room and did not see Murong Lin. She pulled a guard over and asked, only to know that Murong Lin had gone out with the people who came. Miss, do we need to find the manager? The guard asked. No need, Sima Yue said and walked out alone. When the guard saw that she was about to leave, he said, Miss, are you going out? Sima Yue was asking the scarlet bees of the prince's mansion to check the whereabouts of Murong Hui. Seeing a few worried faces, she said, I'm going to pick up father. Miss, it's too dangerous outside. Master definitely doesn't want anything to happen to you. The guard said, why don't you wait at the inn for master to come back? Don't worry, I have little black. Sima Yue said, protect the people inside well. Dad and I will be back soon. After saying that, she left the inn alone without waiting for the guard's response. The guard watched her leave and opened his mouth, but in the end he didn't stop her. Sima Yue walked towards the king's residence. Along the way, she kept in contact with the scarlet bees. Unknowingly, she had walked to a deserted area. She stopped and looked at the sparse buildings around her. She sighed slightly. Do you need to make such a big scene to deal with me? You're quite sensitive. A voice sounded around her, making her unable to distinguish the direction. What's the point of hiding? Since I've already found out, there's no point in hiding anymore. Sima Yue said. Although you've found out, there's no need for this old man to come out. The voice said. You're not worthy to see this old man's true face. I think you don't have the face to meet people, Sima Yue said. But even if you let me enter your illusion, you can't trap me. It's already good that you can recognize my illusion. How many people have died in my illusionary realm without even realizing it? The old man said proudly. That's someone else, not me. Sima Yue said. Since you think that I'm not worthy to meet you, then I can only let you see my ability and see if I can make you think that I'm qualified to meet you. Shameless boasting. A little beast dares to bark here. Sima Yue said and released a wave of spiritual energy towards the southeast direction. Then a scream was heard. You can actually find my location. The old man shouted angrily. I said you're just a little beast. Do you think you're so great just because you know a little illusion? Sima Yue snorted and released another wave of spiritual energy. An old man suddenly appeared on the empty street. How did you find out where I was hiding? The old man realized that he was injured by Sima Yue and fell into his own illusion. He was extremely shocked. Sima Yue thought that it would be an underworld beast that would appear. She didn't expect it to be a little old man. It's actually a ghost. This means that you've made a contract with an underworld beast that can create illusions. She analyzed. How did you know? Normal people wouldn't be able to discover the existence of illusions, much less my hiding place. There must be someone stronger helping you. The old man didn't believe that he was discovered by a junior like Sima Yue. He looked around, trying to find an expert. Don't bother looking. There's only you and me here, Sima Yue said. There's really no one? Then how did you discover me? The old man still didn't believe her. Sima Yue shrugged her shoulders. It's very simple because I have an underworld beast that's stronger than you. What? How is that possible? Furthermore, do you really think that you're still in the illusion that you created? Sima Yue kindly reminded him. The old man saw the smile on her face and had a bad premonition. He sensed for a while and his expression changed. This wasn't his illusion. You created an illusion that's similar to mine. I didn't even notice it. How is that possible? He tried his best to sense the illusion, but no matter how many times he tried, the result was the same. He couldn't control this illusion. From the moment you fell in, you entered my illusion. Sima Yue said. Even if you can create illusions, it's impossible to create one that's exactly the same as mine, and without me noticing. This is impossible. This is my illusion. How can I not know? He shouted. Of course it's because I have an underworld beast that's many times stronger than you. Sima Yue said. Little Meng, come out and show him what a spirit-type spirit beast is. Little Meng came out and didn't hide her aura. The old man felt her aura and was stunned on the spot. Dream incubus. How is that possible? He cried out. Incubus is already extinct. How can it still exist? In this world, there are some things that are impossible. For example, before you came to kill me, you definitely didn't think that you would die here today. Although you have incubus, it's still impossible for you to kill me. It's a pity that this incubus will die with you, otherwise I can use it to form a contract. Chapter 1832. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows, so confident? Do you think you can trap me in a dream like this? The old man laughed. I've studied illusions all these years. These illusions won't be able to trap me at all. Then try it, Sima Yue said. I've studied incubi before. I know the weakness of their race's illusions. The old man said. As long as I attack, I'll naturally be able to break her illusion. Sima Yue was a little surprised. Xiaoming's illusion actually had a fatal weakness? His contracted beast is from a small branch of our clan. Maybe he really knows. Xiaoming said. Then I'll give you a chance. I'll let you try. Sima Yue said. I won't attack you. I'd like to see if you have the ability to get out. The old man snorted. He condensed his spiritual energy and attacked towards an inconspicuous direction. Xiaoming's illusion was indeed on the verge of collapse. The scenery on both sides of the street became illusory, and then disappeared. At this moment, they were in a narrow alley. Hee hee, I've said before, you all have weaknesses. The old man said proudly. Without the illusion, you're not my opponent at all. Sima Yue shook her head and sighed. Actually, I really want to play with you and see what you're capable of. But I'm going to pick up my father now. So I'll have to end this quickly. Ha ha ha, little girl, you're so young it's not good to boast. I'm not called Dream Realm's ancestor for nothing. I don't care so much. Sima Yue said. Me heir, you take care of it. Dream Realm's ancestor saw that she didn't call Xiaoming, nor that black dragon, but another contracted beast. His heart became alert. However, he didn't see any underworld beast come out. He thought that Sima Yue was just bluffing. Just as he was about to attack, he found that he couldn't move at all. This isn't the real world, he shouted in horror. Could it be that you can weave two illusions? No, impossible. Even if it's an incubi, it's impossible. It's indeed impossible for there to be two illusions. But who said that this is an illusion? Sima Yue smiled innocently when she saw his shocked expression. The Dream Realm ancestor suddenly thought of something, and the shock on his face turned into horror. This is a domain. How is this possible? Nothing is impossible. Sima Yue touched her long hair. Since I let you know Xiaoming's identity, I'm confident that you won't be able to leave here alive. Me heir, end this quickly. This was not a normal training session, so Sima Yue did not plan to do it herself. Me heir spread out from her hand. She did not even let the Dream Realm ancestor see his real body. A cloud of black fog wrapped around him. After it retreated, only a pile of white bones was left. The Dream Realm ancestor didn't even have time to scream before he died. He probably didn't expect that he would die in such a small alley after so many years in the ghost realm. Sima Yue called Xiaoming and Me heir back, and then continued to walk towards the Prince of Great Yu's mansion. At this time, in the Prince of Great Yu's mansion, a figure hurried into a gorgeous courtyard. Princess, we lost again. The person lowered his head, not daring to look at the Princess of Great Yu's face. The hand that was writing paused, and the 10,000-year-old blackwood pen broke in half. Lost again? How many waves of people have been sent out? The Princess of Great Yu's voice was cold, showing how angry she was now. The person immediately knelt down and said, Princess, please calm down. Who was sent this time? The Dream Realm ancestor. He also lost. The Princess of Great Yu was a little surprised. She thought that she had just sent an ordinary person, but she didn't expect it to be one of her confidants. Princess, the Dream Realm ancestor's life tablet has been broken. What did you say? The princess stood up and looked at the person on the ground in shock. You said he is dead? Yes, princess. How could it be? Although his strength is not very high, but with the help of the illusion he can complete every task successfully. This time, he actually fell into the hands of Moronghui. The Princess of Great Yu was a little suspicious. When did vast region have such power? Princess, it's not Morong Hui, it's just Morong Shi. Morong Hui came to the prince's mansion today, because the contestants were beaten. Morong Shi left the inn alone. You mean Morong Shi can deal with the Dream Realm ancestor alone? When we got there, not even the bones of the Dream Realm ancestor were left there. But his life tablet was broken. Useless thing. The princess of Great Yu grabbed the inkstone beside her, and threw it at him. The inkstone hit his forehead, leaving a big bump. Princess, please calm down. Calm down, calm down. You only know how to calm down. I sent so many people, but they couldn't even deal with a little Morong Shi and lost so many people. Tell me, how can I calm down? The princess of Great Yu rebuked angrily. Why did I raise a bunch of trash like you? This subordinate is incompetent, please punish me, princess. The person on the ground lowered his head even more. However, we feel that Morong Shi is not as simple as a duke's daughter. What do you mean? We all know the strength of vast region. With the strength of the Dream Realm ancestor, it is reasonable to say that it is more than enough to deal with them, but there are no bones left. This subordinate thinks that there should be someone behind vast region. Nonsense. Yushi is now living with them. Even if Princess Jinghua dies, it can't erase the relationship between them. Princess, Envoy Yu did not send anyone to follow Morong Shi. So, Morong Shi is more suspicious? This is just the subordinate's guess. Since it's a guess, then confirm it. In addition, send the double fiend of Black Shadow. The person on the ground was stunned for a moment. Was there a need to send the double fiend of Black Shadow? But since it was the princess's order, he could only agree and then retreat. The princess of Great Yu looked at the calligraphy and paintings on the desk with cold eyes. Morong Shi, you killed my brother. I must make sure that you won't be able to leave this Great Yu city. On the other side, after Sima Yue killed the Dream Realm ancestor, she continued to walk and came to the Prince of Great Yu's palace. However, she did not let the guard report, but stood dozens of meters outside the gate, waiting quietly. This wait lasted for half an hour. When the guards saw her standing there, they couldn't expel her because she was standing a safe distance away. But they couldn't ignore her, especially when she kept staring at the prince's palace. That gaze made them feel uncomfortable. Finally, the captain of the guards came over and asked, "What are you doing here? This is the prince's palace. Unrelated people should not stay here." "I'm here to find my father," Sima Yue said. "I'm waiting for him to come out and go back together. He's almost done." Chapter 1833. The guard captain was a little confused. This was the first time someone had done this outside the Wangfu. "I don't know who you are waiting for. If you say it, we can go in and report." The guard captain's attitude was still good, and he didn't force people away. Sima Yue was a little surprised by his attitude, but she still refused his kindness. "No, my father will come out in a while." "I don't know who your father is. He's coming out." Sima Yue saw the door open and smiled. Seeing Morong Hui, she smiled and walked over. "Father." Morong Hui and Morong Lin came out of the Wangfu and saw Sima Yue. They were a little surprised. "Shi'er, why are you here?" "After I was done, I heard that you had been out for a long time, so I came to see you," Sima Yue said. "Are you done now?" In fact, she already knew the situation in the Wangfu and knew that he was not in danger, so she didn't break into the Wangfu. "It has been dealt with. Did anything happen to you?" Morong Hui was very moved, but he didn't agree with her doing this. It was too dangerous. "No. Father, let's go back," Sima Yue said with a smile. "Well, let's go back." The guard looked at the back of the three people and murmured, "That person is actually the waste miss of vast region. This temperament." Sima Yue and the others walked back slowly. When they were far away from the Wangfu, Morong Hui asked, "How is Gu zipping?" "The situation is temporarily stable. He can rest well later." Sima Yue replied, "Father, is Wang Ye looking for you because of zipping? Why did Uncle Lin come to the Wangfu?" "Lin came to the Wangfu for zipping. I was left by Wang Ye to discuss other things," Morong Hui said. "How is the discussion about the competition going?" Murong Hui and Murong Lin were silent for a while and said, "Sheer, I'm going back to discuss with you. Wang Ye allowed us to replace Gu Ziping's position. But it's too late for us to go back and find someone now. Can we find outside help in Dayu City?" Sima Yue saw Murong Hui and Murong Lin both looking at her, and the corners of her mouth twitched. "You don't want me to do it, do you?" "That's right." Murong Hui nodded. "We thought about it. It's too late to go back and find someone now, and we don't have anyone powerful at this age. With your strength, if you can participate, we might be able to get a higher ranking. Let me participate." Sima Yue did not agree immediately. She had not participated in such an occasion since she came to the world of spirits and souls, so she was a little hesitant. "It doesn't matter if you don't want to," Murong Hui said. "We just thought about it. Wang Ye said that if we can't find a replacement, he'll give us an extra slot to advance to the next round. That's still doable." "Father, I'll go," Sima Yue said. "Only by participating in the county competition can one participate in the competition between the dynasties. Since I have to go to the imperial capital sooner or later, I can take this route." "Good." Murong Hui patted her on the shoulder happily. "I believe that you can do it." To be eligible to participate in the dynasty competition, one must get into the top 50 of the county competition. In other words, she has the confidence to enter the top 50. "Do I need to go to the prince's mansion to report this?" "No need," Murong Hui said. "The person who attacked Gu Ziping was not the princess, but the people from other counties. If they know that you have replaced his position, maybe they will also attack others. Just wait until the competition to say it." "That's what I want." Sima Yue didn't want to be too ostentatious, and if her identity was announced, some things would not be easy to do. When they returned to the inn, it was already dawn. A familiar call came from the corner of the street, and Sima Yue saw Yuan Yin coming over with a few people. Murong Hui and the others knew that she had a good relationship with Yuan Yin, so they said that they would go in first and let her stay alone. "Sure, are you okay?" Yuan Yin asked as soon as he saw her. "Yuan Yin, why are you here?" Sima Yue looked at the guards behind him, who were much stronger than before. "Should I call you young master Yuan in the future?" "Thank you. I have just become the young master." Yuan Yin didn't expect her to be so smart. Just by looking at the strength of the guards around him, she guessed that he had successfully obtained the position of the young master. "Congratulations, you finally got what you wanted." Sima Yue smiled. "Let's find a place to get together?" Yuan Yin said. "I want to drink the tea you made." "Then go inside. I'll make it for you to drink." Sima Yue took him to the small garden behind the inn, and Yuan Yin left the guards behind him outside the courtyard. Yuan Yin shook off the guards and asked before sitting down, "I heard that your people were assassinated. Are you okay? Did the princess do it?" "No, it was someone else who did it. One of our players was injured." "Where is Mog? Didn't you say that he has arrived in Great Yu City?" Sima Yue asked him while making tea. "He should have arrived a few days ago, but something happened on the way and he was delayed for a few days," Yuan Yin said. "What is it that he, the young master of the Mo clan, has to do it himself?" Sima Yue was curious. As an ancient race, the Mo clan has a high status in the ghost realm, and they rarely participate in the affairs of the ghost realm. Especially Mog, the young master of the ghost realm. He is the same as his ancestor Mou. Ordinary things can't attract him at all. "Do you know that there is a river of forgetfulness in the ghost realm?" Yuan Yin asked. "I know. According to the records in the book, this river of forgetfulness is a divine river on the side of the soul realm. The water is clearer than the Milky Way in the sky. Ordinary people can't float there at all, so only the soul race can live there. However, there are several sayings about the location of this river of forgetfulness. Why? Emoji's matter this time is related to the river of forgetfulness. When Sima Yue talked about the river of forgetfulness, she didn't know why, but there was a little throbbing in her heart. Yes. Did Emoji go to the river of forgetfulness? Sima Yue joked, but Yuan Yin nodded. He did go to the river of forgetfulness. He's not a soul race. What is he doing there? Sima Yue asked curiously. The river of forgetfulness is indeed in the soul realm, but few people know that the river of forgetfulness and the Nirvana river are actually connected. What? Sima Yue was so shocked that the teacup in her hand almost fell. Isn't the Nirvana river the largest river in the ghost realm? How can it be connected to the river of forgetfulness? If the two rivers are connected, wouldn't it become a river? In a mysterious place, the two rivers flow together. On the other side of the river is the river of forgetfulness where only souls can float. And on the other side of the river is the Nirvana river in the ghost realm. It's just that very few people know about that mysterious place, so they don't know that the two rivers are together. Chapter 1834. Sima Yue was surprised by the news and murmured, "There is actually such a place. I didn't know before. If Emoji hadn't told me, I wouldn't have known that the Wangchuan River and the Nirvana River were connected." Yuan Yan sighed. Then Emoji went to the Wangchuan River? Sima Yue asked. He said that something seemed to have happened to the two rivers, so he wanted to go and have a look. Do you know what it is? Sima Yue's eyes lit up. Something happened in that kind of place. It must be a big deal. Don't be so interested. Yuan Yan said, things in that kind of place are not something we can participate in. Be careful not to lose your life because of it. I didn't want to participate, I was just curious. Sima Yue smiled. I don't know what he has to do. He should be back in a few days. Since he has something to do, he doesn't have to come back. Although he said that he would come with her when she came to Du City, it didn't matter if he really couldn't make it. I told him about the attack on you, and he is on his way back now, Yuan Yan said. I originally thought that when I became the young master, I would have the ability to do something, but when I really sat in this position and learned more things, I found that I was even more powerless. As long as you are strong, you don't have to care about so many things, Sima Yue said. I know this too, but it's easier said than done. Yuan Yan's words were a little bitter, and he didn't want to talk about this anymore. Instead he asked, You haven't told me yet, how are you doing here? It's nothing, it's just that someone was injured. I wasn't with them, so it's okay, Sima Yue said. I'm not talking about this time. How many times has the princess done something to you? I heard that the Dream Realm ancestor was killed by you, Yuan Yan said. You know it so soon? Sima Yue was a little surprised. It was less than a night since she killed the Dream Realm ancestor, and he actually knew about it, indicating that the strength of the Yuan family was more powerful than she thought. The Yuan family's news comes relatively quickly. Businessmen, if you know the news early, you can survive well, Yuan Yan said. Princess did send assassins to assassinate me twice, but... Sima Yue shrugged. Her meaning was self-evident. I used to think that the Wang Fei was so strong because Wang Ye had cultivated her over the years. After becoming the young master, I realized that the power behind her cannot be underestimated. Yuan Yan said. Aniheim. No, but he is also one of Aniheim's people. Yuan Yan said. He is a powerful subordinate of Aniheim. But Du Wang Ye doesn't seem to be one of Aniheim's people. Then how could the power behind her be related to Aniheim? The princess consort of Great Yu's maternal family, the Lu family, is attached to the Zhu family. The Zhu family was not a member of the Aniheim before, but later betrayed the Aniheim. Yuan Yan explained. If it was at the beginning, Wang Ye might have killed the princess, but now that she has become so powerful, it is impossible to destroy her. So the two sides are so distant. Du Wang Ye is really pitiful, Sima Yue sighed. But it is also because of his poor health that most of the power of the Wangfu has been transferred to the princess. Otherwise, there would not have been a situation where your contestants were destroyed. But I don't think the higher-ups will sit back and watch the princess consort of Great Yu grow stronger, right? Sima Yue put the brewed tea in front of him. They don't care? Over the years, there have been constant struggles at the top, plus friction with other places, so they don't have the energy to take care of things here. But Yuan Yan looked around and set up a small enchantment, so that no one outside could hear his words. Sima Yue looked at his actions curiously, guessing what he was going to say. I always feel that things are not like this. Yuan Yan continued. Wang Ye used to be smart and powerful. How could he let the princess gain power? I think Wang Ye may be planning something bigger. Sima Yue somehow remembered that Morong Hui stayed in the Wangfu for a day yesterday. Is there really something going on? She thought about this in her heart, but the expression on her face did not change, and she continued to listen to him. I think Wang Ye may be waiting for an opportunity to completely eradicate the princess's power. Yuan Yan said. What about your Yuan family? Which side are you on in this matter? Sima Yue asked. That's just my guess. If you want to take a side, I think the family may not go anywhere. Yuan Yan sighed. The same was true for the family in the past, so although we have not chosen the wrong team over the years, we have not had the same style as before. Then you are not going to change it? Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. If I become the patriarch, maybe I can think about it. But now, Yuan Yan's words were very helpless. It can be seen that even if he became the patriarch, he still lived very helplessly. The two of them didn't continue on this topic and changed the topic to something else. Not long after, his guard came in from the outside. Although he didn't speak, the meaning in his eyes was obvious. It was time to leave. Yuan Yan sighed, drank the tea in the quilt, got up and said, I should go. I'll see you off. Sima Yue did not urge him to stay. It could be seen that he was not so free. After sending Yuan Yan away, she turned and entered the inn. As soon as she arrived at the courtyard, she saw Yuxi and Lang Yu staring at her in the corridor. What's the matter? Seeing that the two of them were looking at her strangely, she looked down at her clothes. It's pretty good, there's nothing wrong with it. You were attacked when you went out last night. Lang Yu said. Yes. You look at me like that. Could it be that the person I killed was one of your people? Are you in cahoots with the Princess of Great Yu? What are you thinking? How could we be in cahoots with them? Lang Yu gave her a blank look. We got the news that the Dream Realm ancestor is dead. We were wondering if he was killed by you. So it seems that it was really you. He came to kill me, so of course I had to kill him. You two scared me. Sima Yue curled her lips. Looking at the two of them, she thought that they were the ones who had killed them. It was you who scared us, okay? Lang Yu cried. Do you know who the Dream Realm ancestor is? Sima Yue blinked. Who? Even if we suddenly met him, we might not be able to escape unscathed. You actually killed him all by yourself, and you even did it without a sound. That's the scary thing, okay? I'm not alone. Sima Yue said. That's more like it. Lang Yu heard that she went out alone last night, and thought that she killed him alone. Now that she said no, he felt much easier to accept. Who was it? Sima Yue smiled. My beasts. The two of them. Chapter 1835. Sima Yue looked at their expressions and was amused. She burst out laughing. You guys don't have to be like this. I said that I have a lot of beasts. But I didn't expect him to be so powerful. Lang Yu was provoked. If her spirit beast wasn't powerful, she wouldn't have the confidence to deal with the two of us. Yuxi said from the side. But it's best not to go out alone in the future. After this incident, the people she sent next time would definitely be more powerful. Moreover, after suffering a few losses, I think she will directly increase several levels next time. That's right. If you want to go out in the future, just call us. Anyway, we have nothing to do here recently, and we're your uncles, so it's only right for us to protect you, Lang Yu said. Well, if I want to go out, I'll definitely call you guys. Sima Yue replied. But considering what happened before and the current situation, I think it's safer for me to stay here. I also need to prepare for the county competition. You want to participate in the county competition? Yeah. Ziping can't participate in the competition, and we don't have time to find him now. Wang Ye said that they can give us a place to advance to the next round, but it might not be safe. Why don't I participate? I might even be able to get a place, Sima Yue said. Have you thought it through? If you do this, it's very likely that you'll attract the attention of those people, and the chances of your identity being exposed will increase. Yushi reminded her. I know. If I'm really discovered, I have the ability to deal with it. Sima Yue said. At least I have the ability to escape. It's fine as long as you've thought it through. Yushi said. Besides, you'll have to face those things sooner or later. Yes. Sima Yue nodded. She didn't want to before, but now, she had the qualifications to face those things. All right. Since you've decided, I've also decided to go to the county competition this time. Lang Yu said with a serious face. Sima Yue rolled her eyes. As if it was a great honor for him to watch the competition. What she did not know was that this was indeed the case. In the past, no one had ever come to watch the county competition because they were too busy. If it wasn't for Sima Yue, the two of them would have left long ago to do other things. We've already kept your identity a secret. But in the future, if you go against the king, I will still stand on the king's side. Yushi said. I know. We just got to know each other. No matter what, the Ghost King is still the king you've pledged your loyalty to. I know what's more important. Sima Yue was not angry. I'm already grateful that you didn't tell him my identity. It's good that you understand. Now that they had made things clear, if there were any disagreements in the future, no one would feel betrayed or anything. Naturally, they would not be sad. Uncle, if there's nothing else, I'll go check on Zipping first. It's almost time to give him the acupuncture treatment. Sima Yue nodded at them and went to Gu Zipping's room. The other contestants have gone back, and Fang Yinghan and Zhang Mingda stayed to take care of him. Because they took her medicine, the injuries on their faces were not very visible, but the other injuries on their bodies were not completely healed. Seeing her come in, both of them stood up. How is he? Did he wake up in the middle? Sima Yue asked. He woke up once, but his mental state is very bad, and his consciousness is not clear. Fang Yinghan replied. He was seriously injured, not only physically but also mentally, so even if he wakes up now, he can't tell who is who. He'll be fine in 2 days. Sima Yue said. You two go down and rest first. I'll change his medicine and give him the acupuncture treatment. I can't finish it in a short time. Yes, Mississippi. Fang Yinghan and Zhang Mingda left the room, and Sima Yue set up a barrier, and then began to change Gu Zipping's medicine and acupuncture treatment. In the next few days, Sima Yue found that Morong Hui's whereabouts were somewhat uncertain. He hardly went out in the first 2 days, but these days he was hardly in the inn. She thought of Yuan Yan's guess. If there is really any movement in the Wangfu, after hesitating for a while, she decided to contact the Scarlet Bees all over the Great Yu City to see if she could get anything. Until the eve of the competition, she did not leave the inn again, and so did the other contestants, which made the guards who had been worried feel relieved. Somewhere in the world of spirits and souls, at the place where the river of forgetfulness and the Nirvana river met, ripples suddenly appeared in the river that had been silent for thousands of years. Then a force split the river into two from the inside out. After a while, the river slowly separated from the light, and then a tired figure walked out from the bottom of the river. The man walked out of the river and came to the shore. When he stepped on the solid ground, he knelt down on one knee, and the sword in his hand gave him a good support. Congratulations on successfully passing this test. A figure vaguely appeared in front of him. Others couldn't see him, but Wu Lingyu could. Now that I have successfully passed the test, shouldn't you disappear from my sight? Wu Lingyu clenched the sword in his hand, and the cold light on the sword made the figure slightly afraid. You don't have to be so angry. The purpose of us doing this is just to make your strength more advanced, the Black Shadow said. Are you going to burn the bridge now? You threw me to that place and let me kill my way out step by step. In the past few years, I have been injured hundreds of times, and there have been dozens of narrow escapes. Do you think I will be grateful to you? Wu Lingyu's body was very hostile, and just one look made people feel a chill. Isn't the final result the same? You came out, and your strength has been improved. You have passed our test, so you are qualified to stand with Miss Yue, the Black Shadow said proudly. If it wasn't for these words, you would have been a dead man the moment I came out. Wu Lingyu didn't like what these people did, but because they wanted to improve his strength, so that he could protect Yue, he let them go. Of course, at this time he didn't know the identity of these people, and didn't guess that they were with the Netherworld King. He rested on the ground for a while, and when he got up, he looked at the two different colored waters, thought for a while, and walked towards the Nirvana River. With the River of Forgetfulness in his left hand and the Nirvana River in his right, he thought it was very far away, but it was only a step away. "Where are you going?" the Black Shadow asked. "To find her." Wu Lingyu replied. "Last time you didn't allow it, saying that I had to pass your test. Now that I have passed, do you still want to block my way?" Chapter 1836. I'm not trying to stop you. I just want to remind you that this is the place where you will meet again at the banks of the River of Forgetfulness. Even if you go there now, you won't be able to see her, the Black Shadow said. Wu Lingyu paused and continued to walk forward. He said, "My fate is in my own hands, not in the hands of the heavens. What prophecy? As long as I look for her, I will find her. You're just a soul now, and a soul that's fused with the River of Forgetfulness. Without separating from the River of Forgetfulness, you can only obtain power from it. The world of spirits and souls is so big, you've already dissipated before we can find her." Wu Lingyu stood still. His body emitted waves of evil energy, which blew his hair and clothes up. "If you didn't throw me to the bottom of the River of Forgetfulness, would I have become like this?" He condensed his spiritual energy and attacked the Black Shadow, causing the space around him to distort. The Black Shadow was surprised to see his strength increase so quickly. It seemed that he had obtained more than he had expected at the bottom of the River of Forgetfulness. However, he couldn't reach him yet, or rather, he couldn't hurt him with his current strength. The spiritual energy passed through the Black Shadow's body and landed on the Nirvana River, stirring up raging waves and breaking the riverbank, causing the river water to gush out. The River of Forgetfulness originates from the underworld. Its power comes from the underworld, while your power originates from the River of Forgetfulness. Your power cannot harm me. The Black Shadow looked at the Nirvana River that was gushing out and drowning the surrounding land. He said, "Your previous actions have attracted many people's attention. The people from the Soul Society and the Ghost Realm have rushed over to check it out. If something happens to the river, it will lead those people here. What does that have to do with me?" When Wu Lingyu saw that his power was unable to harm Chu Li, the anger in his heart could not be vented. He did not care about those people at all. When you abandoned your body and came to the world of spirits and souls for her, your fates were tightly linked. Karma and retribution, if it doesn't fall on you, it will fall on her. What should I do? Wu Lingyu's attitude immediately changed. The Black Shadow smirked. The River of Forgetfulness and the Nirvana River were originally one, but they split into two later on. If you can control the River of Forgetfulness, you can also control the Nirvana River. Although it's not as easy to control as the River of Forgetfulness, it's still very easy to control the river water. Wu Lingyu glanced at him and flew to the surface of the river. He controlled the river water to flow backwards. When all the river water had flowed back, he moved the mud and rocks not far away and blocked the gap. Looks like you're very proficient in using it. When he saw Wu Lingyu looking at him with a smile that was similar to Sima Yoyue's, he subconsciously dodged to the side. Pa! A bolt of lightning struck the place where he had been standing. If he had not escaped in advance, he would have been at least half crippled. Even though he had escaped in advance, his arm was still injured by that power. His half-charred arm made him grimace in pain. I really have to thank you for your reminder. I was thinking that since Yu and I are connected, I might be able to use lightning as well. I didn't expect it to be really useful. Wu Lingyu gratefully cupped his hands towards the Black Shadow and flew into the River of Forgetfulness with a laugh. This guy is as vengeful as you were. The Black Shadow looked at his arm, took out a medicinal pill and ate it, and then disappeared from the air. On the eve of the region competition, Missouri Ji finally came back. Sima Yue saw his travel-worn appearance and said, I'm fine here. You don't have to come back in such a hurry, do you? So, I'm doing something unnecessary? Emoji looked at her with a slight grievance. Of course not. I'm very grateful, Sima Yue said. So I've prepared a table of good dishes to welcome you back. Is there tea? Yes. Sima Yue took him to the dining room. The food was indeed ready on the table, and Yuan Yen was already waiting for him at the table. You're finally here. If you don't arrive, I'll be drowned by my own saliva, Yuan Yen said. I haven't seen you for a year, and now that you've become a young master, you've learned to exaggerate? Emoji snorted. That's because you haven't eaten Shi-er's delicious food, Yuan Yen said. When you eat it, you'll find that it's such a happy thing to have such a table of delicious food waiting for you. Emoji smiled, thinking that he was exaggerating. He only liked tea. No matter how good the food was, it would not interest him too much. Take a seat. Sima Yue found a seat by herself and sat down. The three of them almost formed a triangle. Yuan Yen got permission and began to eat. Emoji looked at his impatient look, shook his head helplessly, and began to eat himself. After taking the first bite, he found that the taste of Sima Yue's cooking was indeed much better than that of other people. Although he wasn't a foodie, he had to admit that he ate a lot more than he used to. After eating, the three of them walked around the garden of the inn for a while, and then went to drink tea to digest the food. There's delicious food to eat, and you can drink the tea made by Shi-er. It would be great if such a life could be frequent. Yuan Yen sighed. Your guards didn't ask you to go back? Sima Yue asked. The family knows that I am with Emoji, and they want me to stay with him for a while. Those guys won't be so ignorant, Yuan Yen said. You being a young master has the same effect as not being one, Emoji said. That's right. My young master is not as domineering as your young master. Yuan Yen was not angry. By the way, what happened at the Nirvana River? Sima Yue also looked at him. In fact, it's nothing. It's just that the Nirvana River has been a little turbulent recently. Everyone suspects that some strange treasure is about to be born. Emoji said. Looking at you like this, I know that the news is false. Sima Yue said. I don't know. Emoji's answer was unexpected. You don't know? I went to take a look. The Nirvana River is indeed restless, but it doesn't necessarily mean that a strange treasure will appear. I didn't feel the aura of a strange treasure. However, the movement is indeed a bit similar to the birth of a strange treasure. Emoji said. Is there such a thing? Your Mo clan is very sensitive to the aura of strange treasures. So many treasures were snatched by you in the past. Now even you are not sure. It seems that it's really a bit strange there. I'm a little curious about that place. Sima Yue said. If it's not the birth of a strange treasure, it must not be a simple guy who can make that kind of movement. I think so too. Emoji agreed with her view. I was going to study it there, but I thought that you would come to the Great U City, so I came back first. When the matter of the region competition is over, I plan to go and have a look again. Sima Yue's eyes lit up, and she looked at him with a smile. Can I go with you to see it? Chapter 1837. Emoji was a little surprised at her request. She used to have no interest in the outside world. Weren't you unwilling to do those things before? Yuan Yen asked. The past is the past, and now is the present. My strength is different, and of course, I will do things differently. Besides, Sima Yue smiled. I have always been very interested in treasures. I think it's the treasure that attracts you, right? Emoji said. If you want to go there, you must prove that you have the strength to be with me. Otherwise, I don't want to be distracted to protect you in such a dangerous place. I have Hei Yen, Sima Yue said. That's not enough. Emoji shook his head. Then how do you prove it? Top 10. If you can get into the top 10 of the region competition, after the competition, I will let you go with me. Emoji said. Sima Yue thought about it and agreed to this condition. As long as I get into the top 10, you will take me there. No problem. Yuan Yen saw that she was quite confident and reminded her. Do you know the strength of the people participating in the region competition? Although your strength increased a little when you contracted Hei Yen, Those who can participate in the region competition are all geniuses of various regions. Their strength is much more powerful than those of your vast region. The top 10 is not as easy as you think. Would you like to change the condition? Although he said this to Sima Yue, he did look at Emoji, hoping that he could change the condition. I know, I believe I can do it. Sima Yue was very confident. Yuan Yin saw that she had made up her mind, so he couldn't persuade her anymore. He said helplessly, I think the Wangfu should have all the lists for this competition. I will find a way to get it for you. You should know your opponent first. Thank you for your kindness, but no, I already have the list. Sima Yue looked at Yuan Yin gratefully. Although he was a bit aggrieved as a young master, his heart was still good. You already have it. Do you know how many people there are in the competition? There are 2,430 people, among whom there are 270 people who have reached the advanced level of the Underworld sect, 47 people who have reached the primary level of the Underworld Emperor, and 7 people who have reached the intermediate level of the Underworld Emperor. As for their contractual beasts, I don't know them very well, but I believe that this is not marked on the statistical list of the Wangfu. Every time Sima Yue said a number, Yuan Yan's eyes widened. No one knew about these numbers except for those on the list. How did she know? Since you know, are you sure you can get into the top 10? Emoji asked. Even if I'm not strong enough, I still have my beasts. Sima Yue said. I think those people's beasts shouldn't be as powerful as my onyx. If that doesn't work, I still have other trump cards. Just wait for the results. Emoji raised his eyebrows. Are you really willing to expose your details for a treasure that may not exist? Sima Yue tilted her head and thought for a while, saying, I don't know why either. It seems like I just want to go there. It was as if he would miss out on something if he didn't go. There was an uneasy feeling in his heart. Maybe there are really all kinds of treasures there that are calling me. Why are you two looking at me like that? Do you know that some artifacts really choose their own masters and summon them to find them? Is there really a treasure calling you there? Yuan Yin looked at her with envy and jealousy. It shouldn't be like this, right? If it is, will it be a space artifact? Sima Yue asked with a smile. Do you lack a space artifact? Emoji asked. It's not a space artifact, it's a space artifact. Sima Yue corrected. You went to a lot of underworld artifact shops before looking for this? Yuan Yin remembered that she went to the underworld artifact shop as soon as she arrived in the Great U City. Yes. Since you all know this, do you know where there is a space artifact? Sima Yue asked. Space artifacts are very rare, and there are very few of them. Even if those people have one, they will hide it. As for those who let people know, they all have strong strength. You have to think about it if you want to grab it. Sima Yue turned her hope to Emoji. Doesn't your Emo clan have a lot of treasures? Is there a space artifact? There are a few space artifacts, but they are all in the hands of my clansmen, Emoji said. Sima Yue was quite excited when she heard it, but she didn't expect him to say that there were no more space artifacts. They have already been distributed to her clansmen, so she can't rob his clansmen. There is no space artifact, but there is still a sacred artifact. Do you need to make do with it? Emoji asked. Forget about the sacred artifact. I only want the artifact. Sima Yue was a little discouraged. What do you want the artifact for? It's for my own use. Sima Yue said. Alas, do I really have to imagine that there is a space artifact waiting for me in the Nirvana River? You don't have to be so disappointed. There will definitely be one in the Ghost King's place. Emoji said. I heard from the old ancestor that Anaheim had it before, if you can snatch it from her. Sima Yue became energetic again when she heard this. Are you serious? Hey, don't be like this, it will scare people. Yuan Yin almost jumped up when he saw her like this. Do you know who Anaheim is? If you go and confront her. Don't worry, I won't go at this time. I'm not a fool. Sima Yue rolled her eyes. Was the word fool written on her face? Yuan Yin felt that it was almost the same. It was a very crazy thing to have this idea. You'd better compete well. Emoji said. I don't think this process will be easy. Yet it won't be easy, Sima Yue said meaningfully. In the following time, not only the competition, I'm afraid that a lot of things will happen. It really won't be easy. The next day, Sima Yue followed Morong Hui to the competition venue early. After so many years, she participated in such a competition again. As soon as she sat down in her seat, she felt a complicated gaze. She turned her head and saw Yu Qi walking in with Xiao Ruobai from the outside. Xiao Ruobai's eyes were tangled and painful, and a trace of guilt surged in her heart. Although it was unintentional, she was indeed the one who ruined her happy life. The little prince is here too, Morong Hui said. Sima Yue saw a commotion at another entrance, and the little prince Yu Fei also walked in under the protection of the guards. Yu Fei and Yu Qi walked to the audience at the same time. Yu Fei first saluted Yu Qi. "Seventh brother, you are here too. You used to have no interest in the region competition. Aren't you the same?" Yu Qi replied with a smile. The atmosphere between the two was a little subtle, but people in the distance saw a picture of harmony. Chapter 1838. Sima Yue looked at Yu Qi and Yu Fei. Their temperaments were quite similar. They were both gentle and elegant in front of others. But as for the real situation, it was estimated that only those who knew them would know. Is this the rumored future seventh princess consort? Yu Fei turned his gaze to Xiao Ruobai. She is indeed a lovely person. Yu Qi did not deny it, which meant that he acquiesced to his words. Xiao Ruobai bowed to him and said lightly, "Little prince, you misunderstood. I am not the future seventh princess consort." "Is that so? Then I was wrong. Please don't take offense." The smile on Yu Fei's face was a little unnatural, and he apologized for his behavior. Sima Yue curled her lips. Although this guy was apologizing, he was very happy to see Yu Qi's gloomy face. Morong Hui said that Yu the Great and Wang Ye intended to pass the throne to this little prince. Now it seemed that this little prince was not very good. "The eldest prince and the second prince are here," someone said. The entrance was noisy again. A man with a big belly and a thin man came in from the entrance. Yu Fei and Yu Qi looked at the people who came and bowed together. "Eldest brother, second brother. You are here too. Everyone is here this year." The eldest prince Yu Lu laughed. "You two came early this year. I don't know if the other brothers will come." The second prince Yu Yan smiled. Perhaps because of his poor health, his smile looked a little pale and weak. "They should come," Yu Qi said. "Since we are here, let's take a seat first. Staying here will hinder others. Let's go." Yu Lu, Yu Qi, and Yu Fei walked in front, and the second prince Yu Yan walked in the back. Sima Yue looked at the second prince who was ignored by everyone and asked Morong Hui, "Father, what about this second prince?" "Second prince?" Morong Hui glanced at Yu Yan and said, "He was born to a concubine of Wang Ye. That concubine was not very strong herself, and there was no strong force behind her. She died not long after giving birth to the second prince. Because Wang Ye liked that concubine very much, he protected the second prince well, and let him grow up smoothly. However, the second prince has been in poor health since he was young, so it was impossible for him to inherit the throne. Therefore, everyone gradually neglected him, and allowed him to live until now." Sima Yue looked at Yu Yan. His pale face was abnormally red from coughing. Sensing her probing, he turned to look at her, smiled at her, and turned back to chat with the first prince. "This second prince." Sima Yue tapped her fingers on her knee and said with interest, "Shi'er, what are you thinking about?" Morong Hui looked at her and asked, "Nothing." Sima Yue smiled. "Yes, Shi'er, you must be careful during the competition. I heard that the rules have changed this time. It is no longer a matter of stopping, but life and death are ruled by fate," Morong Hui said. Suddenly changing the rules? I think it should be the princess's idea. She should have gotten the news that you are going to participate in the competition, and changed it for you, Morong Hui said. Sima Yue smiled sarcastically and said, "She wants to deal with me like this? She is too naive. In short, be careful," Morong Hui urged. "I know, father," Sima Yue said. Yu Yan and Yu Lu talked for a while. When the others were talking, he seemed to inadvertently look in the direction of Sima Yue. Second brother, don't you think so? Yu Lu's voice pulled his attention back. Brother Wang is right. Yu Yan responded. What are you looking at? Yu Lu saw him looking over there just now. Who is that woman? Yu Qi and the others also looked over and saw that it was Sima Yue. Big brother, she is Morong Shi who killed little uncle. Mother sent a lot of people to kill her, but they all returned without success. Even the Dream Realm ancestor and Double Fiend Black Shadow were killed by her. She is Morong Shi? She looks quite beautiful. Yu Lu saw Sima Yue and touched his chin. I don't know if I can ask Mother to let her come over. I heard that this Morong Shi's appearance is 90% similar to the original Dark Princess. The Dark Princess is peerless, so this Morong Shi naturally looks good. Yu Fei said. I heard that this face is very troublesome. Brother Wang, it's better not to get into trouble. The more exciting things are, the more exciting it is to do them, isn't it? Yu Lu smiled evilly. As long as Brother Wang likes it, you can have anything you want. Yu Qi said. Mother may be more willing to make you happy than to kill her. Haha, I think so too. Mother loves me the most. Yu Lu smiled proudly. If she falls into my hands, I will definitely avenge little uncle hee. Sima Yue felt a few bad gazes and frowned slightly. A touch of disgust and impatience flashed in her eyes. Xiao Ruobai was a little worried at first, but after seeing her expression, she smiled instead. Looking at her expression, she knew that if they really dared to do this, they would definitely not be able to bear the consequences. But her smile did not last for a few seconds and disappeared again. Her expression was a little painful. Shouldn't she be looking forward to Sima Yue's bad luck? Why should she worry about her? Sima Yue sighed faintly. Young Mississippi Fang Yinghan and Zhang Mingda came over from their seats. What's the matter? Sima Yue looked at their mysterious appearance and didn't seem to want Morong Hui to know, so she got up and left with them. They came to the last row and Sima Yue looked at them. What's the matter? Young miss, we recognized the person who hurt Ziping. Fang Yinghan said. Recognized? Sima Yue asked. Yes. Fang Yinghan nodded. You told us that day that if the people who beat us were not from the He family, then they might be the people who have a grudge against us. Those people are very likely to be the contestants. We saw it just now. Are you sure it's them? Sima Yue asked. Those people, even if they turn into ashes, I will still recognize them. Zhang Mingda's eyes were red. Although they were wearing masks at the time, their body shape and their voices were in my mind all the time. Since you're sure, then it's easy. Sima Yue sneered. It just so happens that there are new rules. Life and death are up to fate. You have to seize the opportunity. Should we tell the Duke? Sima Yue thought for a while and said, I will tell father about this. You go and tell the others that if you meet them, don't be merciful. Cripple them. It's time to let them know what an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Previously, they bullied Ziping with their numbers. Now let's see if they can still be so powerful. Chapter 1839. In 1 second, she remembered, Love Divided by You? Read book web no pop-up window, free to read. Everyone waited for a while, and Wang Ye the Great brought the Princess of Great Yu to the competition venue. Wang Ye the Great's complexion was very bad, and Sima Yue could tell at a glance that she had not recovered from her serious injuries. The Princess of Great Yu looked dignified and virtuous, and the faint smile at the corner of her mouth made her look amiable in front of everyone. However, Sima Yue knew that under her hypocritical appearance, she had a ruthless heart. The Princess of Great Yu glanced at Sima Yue. The smile at the corner of her mouth did not change, but her eyes became cold. Sima Yue smiled sweetly at her, very proud. The Princess of Great Yu secretly gritted her teeth, and then returned to her usual appearance. He also smiled at Sima Yue, and his smile was full of confidence. No matter how the people she sent to investigate Sima Yue, they only found out about Morong Shi. Except for the Black Dragon, there was nothing special, so she should not have any special power. As for the people who were sent to die, they should not have been killed by Sima Yue. Since Yushi and the others were here, it was very likely that they did it. She had someone to protect her before, but now that she is going to participate in the competition, no one can protect her. She really didn't expect that she would participate in the competition, giving her such a good opportunity. Later, Wang Ye the Great made a speech, and the referee explained some rules. And then the competition officially began. The rules of the competition were actually very simple: black and red notes with numbers written on them, and the two colors with the same number of words would compete, so that half of the people would be eliminated, and then they would draw lots to compete again, and so on. Contestants, please come up and draw lots. The host said loudly. Sima Yue and Fang Yinghan went to the stage to draw lots. Among so many people, there were very few people from their own county. Sima Yue drew a red lot. Fang Yinghan and Zhang Mingda both drew black lots, and the three of them staggered. The first 100 contestants, please enter the realm of emptiness. The host said. The realm of emptiness. This year, the realm of emptiness was actually opened. Some county kings were surprised when they heard the name. Sima Yue was not in the first 100 contestants. Seeing those people so surprised, she asked, "What is this realm of emptiness?" "It's a space that can be expanded and shrunk at will. It's a bit like a small world. When the contestants compete in it, they can perform better in terms of space. Moreover, the realm of emptiness is transparent, and the audience present can also see the situation inside." Moronghui explained. "If there is no arena, how will the judges follow along?" Sima Yu asked again. Morong Yu so he didn't know. Everyone else's. At this moment, the host above said, "Before entering, all of you will have a token. After the realm of emptiness is sealed, it will not open again. This token is the key to your exit." Okay, the first 100 contestants go in. The contestants in the top 100 went to the host to get their talismans. One by one, they entered the realm of emptiness, and each chose a space to start the duel. The princess consort of Great Yu was stunned when she heard the host's words, and then said to Wang Ye the Great, "Wang Ye, why didn't you tell me that you changed the rules? We still have to discuss such a big matter." Wang Ye the Great coughed twice and said, "It's not a big deal, it's just adding a talisman in. After all, they are all resources of the dynasty, and one of them dying is also a loss to the dynasty. If they die, it can only mean that their skills are not as good as others. Such people will not be of much use to our dynasty. What's the use of having them?" The princess consort of Great Yu snorted coldly. "My dear consort, you care so much about this. Are you trying to use this to deal with someone?" Ahem. Wang Ye the Great coughed after saying a few words. "I don't care what you usually do, but when it comes to the future of the dynasty, I can't let you decide." Compared with his usual gentleness and forbearance, Wang Ye the Great's words were all very heavy, causing the princess consort, who was used to being strong, to be stunned for a moment. However, seeing that he was so determined and on such an occasion, she could only swallow the rest of her words. So what if there was this rule? Then she wouldn't have the time to come out. The first 200 people all went in, and the host asked people to close the realm of emptiness, and all the people inside began to fight. "It's already started? It seems that we are a little late." Lang Yu's voice came from the air, and when everyone looked over, 2 people had already appeared there. When the Great Yu royal family saw the 2 of them, they all stood up to greet them, and when the others saw this, they all stood up as well. Wang Ye the Great apologized. "I didn't know that the great envoy would come, so I didn't greet you, please forgive me." "No need, we came by ourselves." Lang Yu waved his hand. "Then please sit down, both of you." Wang Ye the Great left his seat with the princess consort. The most honorable seats here were the 2 of them. "No need, we can find our own seats," Yushi said, and in a flash he came to Sima Yue's side. "Yes, Wang Ye, you can continue. We are here to cheer for our niece, you don't have to worry about us." Lang Yu also came to Sima Yue's side and stood on both sides with Yushi, staring at Fang Yinghan and Zhang Mingda. The 2 of them were stared at until they felt goosebumps all over their bodies, and they quickly moved aside. Lang Yu took out a handkerchief and wiped it before sitting down. After they sat down, Wang Ye the Great led everyone to sit down and continued to watch the competition. Sima Yue rolled her eyes and asked, Uncle Yu, do you need to come here in such a high-profile manner? When has your Uncle Yu ever kept a low profile? Lang Yu returned her an arrogant chin. How about it? What's your number? Sima Yue gave him her number. Seeing her number, Lang Yu laughed out loud. 250, you are actually 250. Ha ha ha. Why did you draw such a number? Do you have to laugh so happily? Sima Yue glared at him, snatched her number back and threatened. If you laugh again, do you believe that I will make you laugh until you can't stop? You don't have to be so ruthless, do you? Lang Yu thought of her poisons, immediately stopped laughing, and looked at her warily. It was not that he was afraid of her, but that even he could not find an antidote for her poisons. If he was really poisoned, then he would definitely laugh for 2 days and 2 nights before he stopped. Humph! Sima Yue gave him a look that said, You can try, and continued to watch the competition in the realm of emptiness. She did not notice that the princess consort of Great Yu winked at the person on the sidelines. The person nodded and quietly left the place. Chapter 1840. The realm of emptiness was a transparent space, and people outside could see the situation inside clearly. The people outside could clearly see who used what underworld skill, who hurt their opponent, and who had the upper hand in the duel. Less than 10 minutes into the battle, the first casualty appeared. Sima Yue looked at the corpse that was teleported out and sighed for him. An early-stage underworld sect cultivator meeting an early-stage underworld emperor. Brother, your luck is really indescribable. The winner crushed the talisman and also left the realm of emptiness. He did not even look at the corpse on the ground, and went straight to the registration office to register. What a cold-blooded and arrogant person. Sima Yue sighed. Reaching the emperor of the underworld at such a young age. You do have the right to be arrogant. However, I don't like this kind of person. Just don't let him fall into my hands. Lang Yu snorted. He didn't have a good impression of this person. I saw it just now. His attacks are fast and ruthless. If someone of the same level as him were to fight against him, it would be a tough battle. Sima Yue analyzed. What about you? Are you confident if you meet him? Yushi asked. If I can't do it, my beasts can too. Sima Yue said. You can't rely too much on spirit beasts. I know, so I have more things to rely on. Do you want to try? Sima Yue tilted her head and smiled at her. That's enough. I think yours is pretty good too. Anyway, it's a good way to win when you're fighting with others. Lang Yu said. When he saw Yushi laughing, he complained. What are you laughing at? You and her are jackals of the same tribe. Thanks for the compliment. Where's your face? Lang Yu rolled his eyes at him and turned his head. When he saw the person coming in from the entrance, he muttered. Why is he here? Sima Yue followed his gaze and saw Emoji and Yuan Yin walking over. Sorry we're late. Something happened before I came out. Yuan Yin apologized to Sima Yue. It's okay. Sima Yue said. Lang Yu stared at Emoji. The young master of the Mo clan is also here. Where is your ancestor? The old ancestor's whereabouts are erratic. I don't know either. Emoji said. I heard that the rules have changed this time. How is it? Yuan Yin asked. Let's sit down and talk. Sima Yue gestured, and Fang Yinghan, who had just retreated to the side, stood up again to give up their seats. Mrs. Friends were all existences that they could not afford to offend. It was better for them to sit further away. When Yu, Wang Ye and the others saw Emoji coming over, they were shocked again. They wanted to come over to greet him, but they were stopped by a look from him. When did this Morong she get together with the young master of the Mo clan? Yu, Wang Ye asked the princess consort. The last time the Mo clan's young master and the Yuan clan's young master went to Vast City, they seemed to know her, and their relationship seems to be good. The princess consort of Great Yu pinched her fingers, secretly hating that Murong she was so lucky to have hooked up with the young master of the Mo clan. She killed her little brother, and Yuan Yen actually brought her to put pressure on her, and he actually agreed. This forced her to not be able to do anything to Morongxi for the past 2 years. Now that he came over at this time, it must be to protect her safety. As long as she enters the realm of emptiness, they can't protect her. Soon after, another group of contestants had their results. This time, it was also one dead and one alive. It's just that the one who was alive this time didn't get any benefits. It's just the beginning, and 2 have already died. I don't know what will happen later. Fang Yinghan sighed. With the new rules, these people will definitely want to weaken the strength of other counties as much as possible. In the past, those who were not chosen by the dynasty would become the power of the county. Now that others have lost a little more, they will become stronger. Yuan Yen sighed. Actually, this is quite good. Lang Yu said. In this world, the survival of the fittest is everywhere, only the strong can survive. Those who die can only blame themselves for not being as good as others. The other dynasties have always been like this, only our Great Yu dynasty has started from this session. I think, since it has started, it may continue to be like this. It can only be said that the ghost realm is too cruel. Sima Yue sighed. Won't the competition in the human world determine life and death? Lang Yu asked her with his eyes. I heard that in the human world, those people's competitions are generally not that serious. Sima Yue said. Survival in the ghost realm has always been much crueler than the other 2 realms. Yushi said. This place has to accept the souls of the other 2 realms. If not many people died, then the ghost realm would have been crowded. It's your first time participating in this kind of competition, and seeing these things for the first time. You have to slowly get used to it in the future. I know, uncle. Sima Yue said. She understood what Yushi meant. The ghost realm was like this, and she had to get used to it. As time passed, the first 100 groups ended one after another. Sima Yue counted that 48 people had died. 40 people crushed their own talismans at the critical moment, and the remaining 12 people took the initiative to admit defeat. It seemed that in the end, everyone realized that if they didn't admit defeat, they would only end up dead, so everyone would make a choice in the face of danger. And those county kings could also accept it. Losing a little face was better than losing a group of future backbone forces. When the first 100 groups were over, the host let the 101 to 200 enter. With the experience of the first batch, everyone admitted defeat early when they saw that they couldn't beat them, so the speed of this batch was much faster than before. Look at this speed, you will go to the competition in a while. You have to be careful of the princess's tricks. Yuan Yen said. You're not afraid of being known by her when you talk on such an occasion. Sima Yue said. When I saw emoji, I understood why I was so aggrieved as a young master. Since it's already like this, I don't need to curry favor with her. Yuan Yen said. If he hadn't taken emoji to intercede for Sima Yue, the princess would not have put pressure on the Yuan family. So now even if he became the young master, he was restricted everywhere. After entering the realm of emptiness, we can't come to your side in the first place. Are you ready? Emoji asked. Sima Yue nodded. Don't worry, I will work hard for our agreement. Agreement? What agreement? Shir, what did you promise this guy? Lang Yu heard their conversation and came over to ask. I'll tell you, these people from the Mo clan are all bad under the leadership of that guy Mou. Don't promise anything and sell yourself. I will bring this to the old ancestor. Emoji stared at Lang Yu and said faintly. Lang Yu was startled by Emoji's gaze, thinking that this guy was still young now, but when he gets old, he will definitely be the same as Emoji. Uncle Yu, don't worry, I won't sell myself even if I sell you. Sima Yue smiled. The number is called over there, I'll go first. After that, she got up and walked to the gathering point of the third batch of players. Chapter 1841. In 1 second, she remembered Love Divided by You? Read book web, no pop-up windows, free to read. The third batch of people had almost gathered. They showed their numbers to the referee, and the referee grouped the people with the same number into a group and asked them to wait at the side. Number 250, Murongshi from vast region. Sima Yue put her number on the table for the referee to see. A slender hand put a piece of paper beside her number, and it also had the number 250 written on it. Sima Yue turned to look at him, and he returned her a cold gaze. Enjoy your last moments. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. Declaration of war? But she was not afraid. These words should be for you. She turned and left after saying that. Shameless boasting. The man stared at her, looking at her as if he was looking at a cold corpse. Sima Yue turned back to look at him, the corners of her mouth raised, and then turned back to the waiting area. Not long after, the second batch of people finished competing. This time was better than the last time, but 38 people still died. 201 to 300 go in. The host shouted. Sima Yue got up and went to the host to get a talisman, and then entered the realm of emptiness with the others. When she was outside, she was quite curious about the realm of emptiness, not knowing what it was like inside. After entering, she found that it was just an ordinary space, but the area was bigger. She found a more remote space, and the other party flew over, indicating that he was already above the underworld sect. The man did not even call out his underworld beast, and took out a long sword, looking down at her from above. Let me deal with you, I'll take advantage of you. You're not number 250, right? Sima Yue said with certainty. What does it matter if I am or not? Your opponent now is me. You should know that. The man said. Is that so? Then I don't need to ask for your name. Sima Yue summoned black lava and jumped onto its back. She flew into the air and confronted him. Because you're going to be a dead man soon. There's no need for people to remember your name. When the man saw her call He Yin out, he also called out his own underworld beast. It was an underworld wolf, which was already at the level of divine beast. It was even more powerful than the underworld wolves in the Moon Creek Valley. It seemed that the other prefectures were indeed much more powerful than Vast Prefecture, since they could casually take out a divine beast. However, in front of He Yin, you have to restrain your aura. He Yin, let's not play. Let's end this quickly, Sima Yue said. It was still too early for him to reveal too much of his strength. He Yin understood what she meant. He smiled and said, I like it the most. Eat my tail. It swung its tail over and slapped the underworld wolf's body, slapping it from the air to the ground and turning it into a pool of flesh and blood. Wolf! The man yelled, condensing his spiritual energy to attack He Yin. Chi! He Yin snorted contemptuously, opened its wings, and with a gentle flap, blew away his spiritual energy. Then, it quickly flew to the opposite side and grabbed the man, ignoring him as he slashed his claws with a sword. Really, what kind of cat or dog comes to kill my contractor? Be careful in the future. Don't be used as a tool. After that, he tore the man in half with his 2 claws. As soon as his claws loosened, his body fell down. Before he reached the ground, he was teleported out. Then Sima Yue and He Yin also went out. From the time she went in to the time she came out, the whole process was less than 5 minutes. She was the first person to come out so quickly. Good job. Lang Yu was the first to shout out and cheer for her. Then the people of Vast Prefecture also cheered. Sima Yue waved at them, and then went to the referee to register. The referee was shocked when he saw her. He stared at her for a while, unable to regain his senses. Please register for me, Sima Yue said. The referee then came back to his senses, wrote a sentence on the register and announced, Number 250, Murongshi of Vast Prefecture wins. Sima Yue saw that he was done and turned back to the rest area of Vast Prefecture. Miss, you are so amazing. Miss, you are really my idol. The people of Vast Prefecture all came up and surrounded her. She won so quickly, which gave the people of Vast Prefecture a lot of encouragement. Sima Yue was surrounded by them and couldn't come out. When Moronghui came over, those people moved aside. Not bad. Moronghui was also very happy. Sima Yue turned back and saw Gongzi Yuan, who she hadn't seen for a long time. She walked over and came to Gongzi Yuan, smiled and said, Gongzi Yuan, long time no see. Yes, long time no see. You really made me look at you with new eyes. Gongzi Yuan was shocked by Sima Yoyue's performance today. I didn't expect you to be so powerful in just over a year. He Yin is more powerful. Sima Yue smiled and said, What's your number? I went in the last 2 batches. Gongzi Yuan said, I just came yesterday. When the competition is over today, I will find you and we will get together. Okay. Sima Yue nodded. I have something to tell you tonight. Murong Hui heard their conversation and came over to say. Sima Yue was a little surprised. She didn't hear him say anything before. Why did he come over at this time? However, she still nodded and looked at Gongzi Yuan apologetically. I'm sorry. It's okay. Then let's get together later. Gongzi Yuan said. Okay. Rua Baishi. Gongzi Yuan saw Xiao Rua Bai sitting next to Yu Qi and stopped talking. I will tell you later. Speaking of Xiao Rua Bai, her heart was also very bitter. In Eternal Brilliance City, Xiao Rua Bai had gone through life and death with her several times, but Gongzi Yuan saw her like this and knew what happened in the middle, so he could only nod. At this time, someone called him. He said to Sima Yue, Then we will contact each other later. Then he walked towards the person who called him. She returned to the rest area and watched other people's competitions with everyone. In other resting areas and audience seats, everyone was discussing her competition. This Morongxi, isn't she a waste? She actually won so quickly. Eldest Prince Yulu said. Eldest brother, she doesn't have much strength, but she does have a black dragon. Little uncle was killed by this black dragon. Yu Qi said. But I didn't expect it to become so powerful in just 2 years. Little uncle was actually killed by this black dragon? Yu Lu didn't care about this matter at all. For him, eating, drinking, and playing were the most important things. I think this Morongxi is nothing. Her strength is this black dragon. Yu Fei didn't take her seriously. That's not necessarily true. Without ability, how can the black dragon be willing to be her contract beast? Yu Qi always felt that Morongxi was not simple, but no matter how he checked, he couldn't find anything wrong. Chapter 1842. Remember in 1 second. Love divided by you? Read book web. Update fast, no pop-up window, free to read. Yu Lu still didn't put Sima Yoyue's strength in his eyes. He looked at her and thought about how to press her under his body. Yu Fei and Yu Qi both felt that Sima Yue was not simple, but the two of them had different ideas. One felt that they could win her over, and the other wanted to eradicate her. The first round of the competition took a day. The situation in vast region was not good. 22 out of 30 people were eliminated on the first day, which was far more than the standard of half. Sima Yue and the others returned to the inn. Yu Xi and Lang Yu were called away by some news halfway, and Morong Hui took the people back. You all have a good rest. Those who advanced in the competition have to recuperate well these 2 days. Don't go out again. Morong Hui said. Yes, Duke. The contestants dispersed. Sima Yue was also preparing to go back to her room. Morong Hui called out to her, Sure, you stay. The others left, but Sima Yue stayed. She thought that Morong Hui said that he had something to do at night was an excuse. Could it be that something really happened? Sure, I have something to tell you. Come with me. Morong Hui took her back to her room, closed the door, and set up a barrier. Sima Yue saw that he was so cautious. Could it be that he wanted to tell her something secret? Sure, I want to ask you to do something. Father didn't ask you to do anything before. This time, please help me this time. Morong Hui looked at her with a dignified expression. It was the first time Sima Yue saw him like this. She said, What is it? As long as I can do it, I will do it. I want you to treat someone. Morong Hui said. Is it Wang Ye? Sima Yue asked. Yes. Morong Hui never thought that he could hide it from her. Wang Ye's health has been delayed for a long time. Because of his poor health, many things can't be dealt with, which allowed the princess to have these forces. I want you to take a look at him, and see if he can be cured. Okay, Sima Yue replied. When are we going? Now. Now. You don't need to hide from others? Sima Yu was a little surprised. If they were going openly, why would they tell her so mysteriously? Come with me. Morong Hui came to his bedroom, turned over the bed, and a tunnel appeared in front of them. Sima Yu was speechless. Wasn't this an inn? How could there be a tunnel? Morong Hui jumped into the tunnel and motioned for Sima Yu to follow him. After entering the tunnel, he explained, "This inn is Wang Ye's secret force." Sima Yu's little mouth opened slightly. She was shocked by this news. It wasn't because this inn belonged to Wang Ye, but because this place was occupied by people from vast region. My father has always been loyal to Wang Ye. Morong Hui was not as surprised as she was and explained, "This secret passage was dug so that the people who live here can secretly see His Highness. So this secret tunnel leads directly to the Wangfu," Sima Yu said. "No, this is a courtyard that leads to Wang Ye. It's for him to rest. That's the only place where the princess can't get involved," Morong Hui explained. "However, there are still many people watching outside. We can only use this method to get in." The two walked for a while and saw a staircase, so they slowly went up. Morong Hui knocked on the top of their head 3 times, then twice, then 3 more times. Clang! The floor above their head opened and Sima Yu saw the dim light. "Prince Morong, you're here. Wang Ye has been waiting for a long time," the person who opened the floor said. "I see." Morong Hui came out of the tunnel, followed by Sima Yu. The people waiting here were a little surprised to see Sima Yu. They didn't expect that when Morong Hui said he would bring someone, this person would be her. "This is Wang Ye's personal guard, Guard Gao Yi," Morong Hui introduced. Sima Yu saluted Gao Yi. "Please come with me." Gao Yi was told to wait for Morong Hui and bring the people he brought, so he didn't delay and took them to Wang Ye the Great. "Is Wang Ye in the hot spring?" Morong Hui asked. "Yes, today is the day to soak in the hot spring. After the competition, Wang Ye has been in the hot spring," Gao Yi said. After walking for a while, they came to a delicate courtyard with 2 open-air hot springs. One person was soaking in the hot spring. "Greetings to Wang Ye, second prince. I didn't expect second prince to be here too." Morong Hui didn't expect second prince Yu Yan to be here too. He was stunned for a moment and saluted the 2 of them. Sima Yu also saluted. Both Yu Wangye and Yu Yan didn't expect that the person Morong Hui brought would be a woman, so they ordered to bring her here directly. Now they were naked in front of a junior, which made the 2 people in the hot spring uncomfortable for a moment. Yu Yan sank his body into the water. Yu Wangye quickly calmed down from the awkwardness and said, "Morong, didn't you say you would bring a doctor? Why did you bring your daughter here?" "Back to Wangye, she is the doctor I mentioned," Morong Hui replied. "Her?" The Prince of Great Yu looked at Sima Yu with some uncertainty. He was very gentlemanly, and did not finish his sentence. "Yes. My daughter used to learn some medical skills, and has some achievements. She has some research on difficult and complicated diseases," Morong Hui said. "Ahem, in that case, take her to the side hall, we'll be there in a while," Yu Wangye said. "Yes, Wangye." Sima Yu actually wanted to say that since you are wearing it now, you will have to take it off later, but she didn't want to say such bold words. She followed Morong Hui to the side hall, and after a while, the princess consort of Great Yu and Yu Yan came over together. Sima Yu looked at Yu Yan and thought that Yu Wangye really doted on him. He actually allowed him to come here and participate in the things he did. Was this sick guy really a prince who stood aloof from worldly affairs? "Morong, I have seen many doctors for this injury, but none of them have recovered. Even the imperial doctors can't do anything about it," Yu Wangye said. "Wangye, you can let my daughter take a look. What if it works?" Morong Hui didn't say anything. "Wangye, I want to take your pulse first to see your condition," Sima Yu said. Yu Wangye only hesitated for 2 seconds before he stretched out his hand. Sima Yu stepped forward and naturally sat next to him. She put her fingertips on his wrist and began to take his pulse. Both Yu Wangye and Yu Yan looked at her at this time. She was calm and was very different from the legendary trash. However, from the expressions of the 2, they didn't have much hope for her. Only Morong Hui believed that she could do it. After a while, Sima Yue withdrew her hand and said lightly, "The other hand." Yu Wangya stretched out his other hand. Sima Yue just took it for a while and frowned. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.